Good evening, everyone. Tom here, Cinema Attacks. Tonight we're just going to be shooting the crap. I don't want to be swearing right out of the gate, but we will. It will happen eventually. But let's lead up to it and talking about some recent movies we've seen, showing off some physical media, as they say. And tonight we have Scott returning. Scott, say
Hello.
hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Scott.
And Eli.
Hello.
Now, Eli, you're wearing a Bloodsport T-shirt.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite.
That's
I
pretty.
love the old JV CD stuff or JCVD stuff.
I've seen that movie so many times
Yeah, it's so
because
good.
that was like the movie in whenever that came out in grade school for me.
Bloodsport, what? Kickboxer. Um, those are probably my two favorites. The Quest is pretty cool too.
I've, ne-
Underrated.
I've never seen that.
Scott, you saw the Quest, right? Or was it called the game? I think it was called the Quest. It
I
was
think
like
it was the Quest. I don't remember it. I know I've seen it.
predated. I think it predated UFC personally. Like it literally. I think some guy watched that and was like, "This should be a sport," and that's because like that's exactly what that movie is. It's you go in, people from all around the world, different martial art styles. They fight only in the Quest. I think it's like fight to the death. So like nobody leaves alive. But like yeah, I swear that has to be like a proto UFC thing. You know.
Eli, then why do people sign up for it?
Because you got to prove your manliness. You know, there's no more feats of manliness, right, Scott, than entering with one man and only one leaving.
That's right. That's right.
Like if somebody was like, so we need you to sign a contract,
You
and
probably will die.
this thing is for the death.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, like
Yeah.
I would at least sleep on it.
Yeah. You have a 50% chance of dying, probably, unless yeah. No thanks,
But in the
All
movies, it's like, hey,
dude.
I'm game.
They're smiling, and it has what's his name? What was the really buff guy from the Bruce Lee movies? The Chinese guy. You guys probably both know.
Bolo.
Yeah, he's in it, just fucking people up and killing people left and right, and yeah, it's a cool movie.
Yeah, like literally all of you but one are gonna die.
Yeah.
All right, and then they're like making friends and like
Yeah, I know.
they get sad when their friend gets killed.
What about the guy that has to like scoop the bodies out of there or like, pile up the bodies from the tournament? Eventually, something tells me eventually, if this was real, it would only be a matter of time before no one signs up anymore. It's just like one guy's the champion forever.
And it did inspire the classic ECW Taipei deathmatch where they glued glass to their fists and fought. So
Oh, I love
important in wrestling history as well.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then was it Lionheart?
Lionheart was good. Yeah, I like that one too. And then what's the one I'm missing? There's like, is it Sudden Death or Sudden Impact or
Sudden Death is kind of hilarious because
yeah, maybe that's not the one I'm thinking of.
It's the Die Hard but hockey.
Oh yeah, no, that's
yeah. Shit, I saw that in the theater.
So he's like part of for some reason part of the plot. He ends up being a goalie. Jean-Claude Van Damme like goes undercover as a goalie as a hockey game is going on.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So it's almost like they watched the baseball game at the end of Naked Gun, and we're like, no, this isn't funny. This is great. This is dramatically intriguing.
Yeah.
Let's do our version of that.
This is an action story right here.
So you got on a tangent, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, well, we could go forever if you let it.
Have you ever seen No Retreat, No Surrender?
No, I've heard the name.
Is that the one where he was the villain?
Yeah, so it's basically a kickboxing version of Rocky IV.
Oh,
where Jean-Claude Van Damme plays the Ivan Drago knockoff.
Yeah, he could pull that off.
Yeah, and there's some. Oh, the hilarious thing about that movie is like the lead hero. He like prays to the ghost of Bruce Lee. And
Yeah.
Bruce shows up with some tips.
That's cool, actually.
That shit is hilarious in that. And then the actual fight scene, like Jean-Claude Van Damme as the villain is like way over the top.
I believe that.
I think he's the Russian villain or whatever. I don't remember. But he's kind of amusingly over the top.
He's like so evil that it's laughable, probably. Like,
Yeah. And this was early on so in his career. I think this is probably
oh,
before Bloodsport.
I think
Maybe
so. Yeah.
couple of years before.
yeah, because I don't think he ever played a bad guy after that. I think he was always like, I got to be the hero of the story, you know.
Yeah. And he's in Breaking 2, I think, Electric Boogaloo, or is it the first one?
Shit, I didn't know that.
The gang is like dancing on the beach, and he's just one of the guys in the background dancing.
Probably doing the splits and stuff.
No, he's just like a guy in beach dancing is all it is.
Doing white guy dancing.
Yeah, very white guy dancing, and I think the implication is he's one of the Venice Beach bodybuilders or something.
Oh, because he looks like that. Yeah, that makes sense. Speaking of weird cameos, I learned the other day that Quentin Tarantino was in a Golden Girls episode. Did you guys know that?
Yeah, wasn't he Elvis or something?
Yeah, yeah, he's like an Elvis impersonator dancing. It's crazy.
Oh, I heard about that. I haven't seen it though.
It's hilarious because it shows like 10 Elvis impersonators all singing together. And he's not even in the front because he wasn't, nearly as famous back then. I don't even know what year this was. He's in the back row, but he's going hard at it. And he stands out because he looks like Jim Carrey. He's just like, chewing the scenery while all the other Elvises are being more serious.
They kind of extra acting that like they're gonna notice me, damn it.
Yeah, and he doesn't look anything like Elvis, as to where all the other ones kind of did. I'm like, why is he there? My guess is he just wanted to. He just wanted to do it. He's probably at, maybe he was on site or something.
Sort of connected to Van Damme. I watched this week. Let's see. There we go. Nope.
You're blowing it out, buddy.
Let's try to adjust here. Very professional. The Go-Go Boys.
I haven't seen that either.
About Cannon.
Yeah, I've just seen the other Cannon Films documentary.
Right. Yeah, they declined to participate in that one because they wanted to make their own. So that's what this one is. I think the other one is better. But this one you get to hear from both of them, so it's kind of interesting in that respect. And Van Damme has a little interview segment in it where he talks about how he kind of came into the office and started doing splits and everything, trying to impress them, and put them in movies, and it worked. So, yeah, overall, I think unless you're like super into Canon, you only need to see the Electric Boogaloo one. But this is kind of a neat companion to it.
That's cool.
I kind of super am into him because I'm sure like a lot of people roughly our age, we watch a lot of those movies on TV just endlessly, like Revenge of the Ninja 3.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned, the Breaking films.
I bet you could name 50 right now just without taking a break,
Salsa, the motion picture or whatever that is. Is that the one that ends with a math test?
what an ending.
Because there's like Salsa, and then there's Lambada, and then let me look it up.
Back then when dancing movies were all the rage.
Yeah,
when there's like the two Lambada movies came out like the same week.
Yeah. What's the one that it ends with like there's a big math test?
I haven't seen either one, so I couldn't help you.
Because it's like a math teacher, he midnights as a dancer, and that's how and then it ends up being about math or whatever.
I might watch it for that. Probably a good movie anyways.
No, I think that's a different movie. I can't remember which. It's some like math teacher is a dancer at night, and it's a canon movie, but I don't remember what type of dancing it is.
Speaking of Van Damme, have you guys ever seen? I just picked this up recently because I heard it was actually really good. Oops, sorry. Universal Soldier Regeneration. I believe this is the most recent Universal Soldier movie. It's from like 2013 or something. I jumped off. I love the first one, and I jumped off literally. Even the second one I thought was terrible. And so I was like, I'm never watching a Universal Soldier movie. And then they started putting in UFC guys. I'm like, why would I want to watch a movie with non-actors? But I've heard this one is actually like super fucking brutal, like just super gory and violent, like ultra violent. So I'm like, yeah, I got to check that out.
I have to look up. I've only seen one of these movies, and it might be that one, but I have to look it up. I
Do
don't
you
remember
mean you mean you haven't seen the original?
No.
Oh, okay. It's probably not aged well, I would guess, but back then it was awesome. And then they did that movie with that Kurt Russell movie Soldier, which I heard was like a spiritual successor to.
I've seen the one after that, and I thought that was really, really good.
Okay, maybe I didn't see that one then. I saw. You saw the one after this or after the debut?
After that.
Oh, okay. Shit, maybe I bought the wrong one.
Day of Reckoning. That's
Okay.
Van Damme, Lundgren, and Scott Adkins. That one is actually really good.
Was that the one that's more of like where they kind of change? Well, I guess since you haven't seen the first one, but is that the one that's more of like a horror movie?
Well, I don't know. It's a little bit like psychological.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one.
I don't want to say horror, but
yeah. Because the other ones are not like that at all. They're just they're just straight up action fighting and stuff. And I heard that one, the one you're talking about, was way different.
Yeah, it's because I don't know what it's basically the hold on a second. Yeah, Andrei Arlovsky, the UFC fighter, is in it.
Yeah, and he's in this one too. So that's cool that he's in more than one. I don't know if he can act or not, but he probably doesn't have to.
But basically, like the guy wakes up and he has no memory, and his family's been killed. So then he goes seeks revenge. So I mean, it's like it's an action movie, but it's like a really brutal kind of revenge action movie.
I do like that. I'm a sucker for like a good revenge story.
How many are there?
God, there's got to be at least 4.
I think there's 6. So that
shit.
Yeah, so that's part 6 is the one I'm talking about. And I thought it was actually really good. But I hadn't seen any of the others.
Yeah, no, I've heard that too. I've heard that one, and then this one I got are both really good. Yeah, so which was surprising.
No hello to Scott. Only
no.
Eli.
Simon doesn't.
We have an understanding.
Simon doesn't fuck around.
So one thing I wanted to bring up is the Eli, in your channel, you watched the Frankenstein trailer.
Yeah, I loved
it. Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, I thought it was a great trailer. What'd you think?
Well, I have a bigger issue with the Frankenstein movies, so this basically ties into that.
Okay.
In that, hold on. James is here. What's up, James?
Hey, James.
So what disappointed me about the Frankenstein trailer is just the ending. Because what I don't like about a lot of the Frankenstein movies is that the monster is just treated like a a zombie that runs around and throws people,
That's true.
and then that's how they do it. The ending of the trailer, but it looked really great up until that.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. The part where he goes on that ship and just starts slaying people.
Yeah, and also it's very like CGI assisted looking.
Yeah, totally. Well, I blame that probably on the Netflix budget, but yeah.
But I guess I'm a big fan of the book,
Yeah, it's a
and
great story.
I just don't, because in the book the monster is very intelligent, and it's treated like almost a, excuse me, like a deadbeat dad story. So there is the element
Yeah,
of Frankenstein. He's playing God in a way that he shouldn't.
yeah.
But in the book, it's treated more like the monster is intelligent, and then
Hmm.
the doctor basically
He's the bad guy.
disowns his ugly ass son.
You know, like, oh yeah, he literally creates him, and then he's like, oh, I didn't know you were gonna be so weird, and he just like, I don't care about you now.
Yeah, and then so there's the sort of emotional core of the story, and I don't like that. Most of the movies, at least that I've seen, just kind of deal with it on the Dr. Frankenstein is playing God and needs to be taught a lesson,
Yeah.
which is basically what the 1931 movie is, and they sort of base most of the versions of it just are based on the 1931 movie instead of the novel.
Hmm. That's a good point. I don't think I ever really thought about that. How how much missing the mark a lot of people are on their Frankenstein adaptations.
And it's not that um it's not so much that it's not like people complain that if if they love a book, then the adaptation sucks.
Oh yeah,
It's just that the sort of center story in the book to me is just more interesting.
me too. Yeah. Did you ever see the Penny what's it called, the Penny Dreadful series, that HBO or Showtime or whatever? Oh shit, you might like that. It's a, I don't know if you know anything about it, but it's a series they did like 3 seasons where they kind of incorporate a lot of different like gothic horror lore all into one story. So there's Victor Frankenstein is in there, Dorian Gray is in there, and other stuff that I can't remember. But they do. I thought they did a Frankenstein segment that I thought was actually really good, because you might like it, because they did totally work that angle of the deadbeat dad thing. Like, he creates the monster, instantly rejects him, and then the rest of the time, literally the whole time that you spend with the monster, is him trying to get over how the only person in his life rejected him, and he's trying to find friends and stuff like that, or he's trying to like become a human. It's a pretty cool. I like it anyways. It's a pretty cool adaptation.
Oh yeah, I'll have to check that out. Yeah,
Yeah, it's really
yeah.
cool. You'll like it, I think.
Um, Probably my hottest hot take of all time is what my favorite Frankenstein movie is.
Uh-oh.
That not including it's Young Frankenstein, but
Oh, Young
no,
Frankenstein.
of course, but I'm saying not including Young Frankenstein,
Oh,
but my
okay.
favorite serious one. Could you possibly guess which one it is, do you think?
I'm gonna make a weird guess, like a wild card guess, and I'm gonna guess Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed.
Close.
Okay.
That's
I was gonna say the
close.
bride.
No. It's the Hammer one after Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed. Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell.
Oh yeah, I have that one. Yeah, I like it.
Um It's really like the actual monster originally in the movie is pretty goofy because he's
Yeah,
like a man-ape thing.
it's really goofy.
But what they do, like, in the second half without giving it away, I think is really genius. And, and I love that, Peter Cushing as Dr. Frankenstein is a total scumbag.
Oh yeah, he is a piece of shit.
So it's not treated like I'm a naive scientist. I just want to make
Mhm.
life.
No,
Oh, I shouldn't have done that.
he is a total villain in his
Yeah,
version of Frankenstein. He's an asshole. He's he's like everything.
but I think it's genius where that I don't think the first half of the movies is that great, but it's genius where they take the story
Yeah, I
and
really like it too.
it doesn't have anything to do with the novel really, but there is that element of the the creature becoming more intelligent,
Hmm.
um, without giving it away.
And it's also cool to see Frankenstein stories that aren't just the same. It's like a completely different chapter. I didn't know it was a book.
Simon never read Frankenstein. There's 2 movies about the weekend where, Mary Shelley came up with the idea of Frankenstein. Have you seen these 2 movies? They are called Gothic, the Ken Russell movie, and then Haunted Summer, with
Shit.
Eric Stoltz.
Wow, that
I
sounds
knew
cool.
I knew of Gothic. I haven't seen it though.
Haunted Summer is sort of like the cheesy, boring version of Gothic, or like straight version, and Gothic is just totally insane.
Okay.
Because it's Ken Russell.
Yeah.
I got to see that. I like Ken Russell.
Yeah, I love directors that like that. Like, I'll just put anything I want into my movie. I don't give a fuck.
Hmm.
Like if you've seen Tommy,
Oh, the Who movie?
yeah,
I never saw it.
or Lair of the White or Lair of the White Worm, Altered States.
Yeah, definitely those two.
He was more of a normal director early on, but then he gave you know, less and less of a fuck as he went along. Where he's like, I think this looks cool. I'm just gonna put it in my movie, kind
Yeah,
of thing.
that's how you got to be, I think. No one wants a director that just plays it safe all the time. I hate that.
Yeah.
Disney does.
Yeah, they've modeled their their current business model after that exact thing. Jesus Christ.
And James saw Nosferatu. What was it? Oh, yeah. Eli and I talked about that a bit because I think it was both in our top tens of the year.
Yeah.
The Nosferatu.
Yeah,
Um,
James, I can see that too. I can see the Frankenstein similarity with Willem Dafoe.
well, yeah, and Poor Things is basically
Yeah.
a version of Frankenstein.
Yeah, Poor Things was cool. I liked it. Weird as shit, but like if you can get into it, it's good.
Yeah, I think I picked that as my favorite movie of the year.
And I mean, if Scott doesn't watch it to see Emma Stone naked, I'm not sure what I can tell him. I just
I
don't.
don't. It seemed like homework to me. I don't know why I didn't watch it. I'm gonna watch it, but I just haven't yet.
And she's naked in like through half the movie. It's wild. I actually really respect her for doing that because it's like for a woman, that's a pretty bold move, especially one of her stature. So I thought it was cool for her to just be like, I don't give a shit. No body doubles or anything. It was her naked.
I don't approve of that.
Body doubles.
Keep your clothes on. Have some decorum, some modesty.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot Scott was super conservative. I was
Yeah,
busy
I mean
taking you
they wear bikinis all throughout Bikini Car Wash Company.
That's
all
right.
throughout.
They're just trying to help their friend pay his medical bills.
True.
It's just
They're good Christian girls.
yeah. So James has a good point. He says Frankenstein is modeled after God. God is the ultimate deadbeat dad. That's a
That's
good
true. I've
point.
never met him one time. He's never called me or revealed himself to me.
Has God ever taken you to a ball game?
No.
Probably not.
And my dad was kind of a deadbeat, but even he took me to a baseball game. So did infinitely more for me than God ever did.
Uh, my dad was too, but he took me to movies, including
Same here.
when I was 7 years old. He took me to see RoboCop.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
and you call him a deadbeat. Come on.
Well,
He knew that that movie was going to be so good
that
that he didn't have to be there after that.
that cancels it out.
Yeah. He's
You
like,
break
Tom,
even.
I'm gifting this to you. Someday you'll thank me, but now I'm leaving.
Or he was such a deadbeat. That's the amount of thought he put into what movie he was taking you to. I'm sure it's fine. It's about a
Yeah.
robot.
Yeah.
But
When
still, that was a pivotal moment in your life.
at least it was the R-rated version and not the unrated version. When Peter Weller gets shot like 130 times versus 40 times.
Right.
One of the greatest scenes in cinematic history, too. Jesus Christ, it's so brutal. It's so fucking brutal.
Yeah. What's up, Clay?
Hey,
The
Clay.
Ken Russell movies he made in his backyard. I think I saw. Was that Fall of the Louse of Usher
No shit.
when he was kicked out of movie making?
How do you kick somebody out of a movie? Nobody wanted to fund him anymore.
Yeah. So he made movies in his backyard.
Oh man, that's awesome. I mean, I hope that's awesome. It's not sad. Not a sad story.
I don't know. Yeah, so Frankenstein, I guess it comes out in November. Now, in fairness, I'm just basing that off the trailer, so I really don't know what direction the movie is going to take. So I think I will, I will watch it and find out.
Yeah.
But him throwing people around at the end
Yeah.
is not a good indicator.
It's true. That is true. Because that kind of shows you that it's going to be more about, like, they're going to maybe focus more on, like, oh, he's a super strong monster that can kill people. Like, we know he could do that. We don't really need to see him do it,
And Clay says, I guess Ken Russell did a movie called Revenge of the Elephant Man in his backyard.
Oh man. Sign me up for that. Jesus.
Have either of you guys seen the Damien Leone Frankenstein movie? I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah,
the guy who did Terrifier.
It's not good. Yeah, it's not good.
Right.
But it is cool to see that he made, like, I think that came out literally like 1 year before Terrifier, and the leaps and bounds that he made in that year was actually pretty impressive.
Okay.
I haven't seen any of his movies, I don't think.
I was gonna watch that, and I saw it was like over 2 hours. I was like, ooh, I don't know.
It does not need to be over 2 hours rough. Either. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't have a compelling story or anything like that, or even it's like a 4 out of 10 type movie.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and then you mentioned in the video on your channel, Eli, that Christoph Waltz is in that Dracula movie and the Frankenstein movie.
Yeah, isn't that weird? I don't know who he plays in either movie either, but he's in them.
Yeah, which is pretty wild.
He's a fucking great actor, though, so I'll be glad to see him.
Yeah, and it's just wild that he was like 40 when and only had done Austrian TV.
Yeah,
when he was Tarantino found him for Inglourious Bastards.
And then gives like one of the best performances you've seen in years, probably. Yeah. Yeah, he's so good in Inglourious Bastards. I think that's easily my favorite performance, even though he's such an unlikable character. Like, he's so good at it,
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree.
I mean, yeah, some of his lines. Whew, yeah, I love that guy.
So is the Dracula one also Netflix? I haven't seen either one of these.
No, it's a French film directed by Luc Besson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Besson.
Sorry. Typical American trying to pronounce a French guy's name. Besson. That's totally that would be American. Béhol. Sorry, French people.
I don't know, but that's how everybody in America pronounces it. I don't necessarily know that in France they pronounce it Luc Besson.
It sounds more correct, though.
But yeah, it's probably close.
Yeah, and I just thought it was weird, like I said, how nobody seems to be talking about this movie, and like you said, you never heard of it, and I had not heard of it. Scott hasn't heard of it, and it's a Dracula movie. So what's going on? Maybe it's because it's a French movie and it's not being promoted very well here. That's my guess.
Yeah, it's possible.
Because even a shitty Dracula movie, you know what I mean? Like it should grab headlines and stuff just because of the name, and it doesn't seem to be really doing that.
Like the Argento movie.
Yes, yeah. I actually never saw that, but I heard it's a huge piece of shit.
I didn't either.
You would be correct.
Okay.
And I'm like, Mr. Argento.
Yeah.
It is vaguely funny though.
I remember thinking it was cool because like it was going to be his comeback, right? Or at least I don't know if he intended to stay around. At least that's what I thought. I remember when that came out, I'm like, when was the last time he put out a movie?
No, he's been putting out movies steadily.
Okay. I didn't even know that.
I think just nobody here cared.
Yeah, I mean, post, since the early 90s, he's steadily been putting out movies.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even know if I can name one besides that one.
I mean, he's probably put out a dozen movies since the early 90s.
Yeah, man.
Are any of them any good? A couple of them are.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I would say, because up until Opera, which is 1987, I think he had one of the best careers of pretty much any director that I can think of.
Are you saying you do or you don't like Opera though?
Including Opera.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I was gonna say I wouldn't I wouldn't think you would not like it because I think it's really good.
I have like the $60 Severin ridiculous edition of it.
Ooh.
Which is like 5 discs, and I actually went through and watched all of the stuff on there, and it's pretty kind of ridiculous. Which I can talk about. I mean, why not? Should I grab it? Because I had like a complaint about it.
Okay.
But just to tie into Dracula 3D, I would say Trauma and Sleepless are the 2 movies from the 90s and 2000s that are actually pretty good.
Okay. Trauma I've heard of. Sleepless I don't think I have.
And Sleepless is it's basically like a giallo, but with Max von Sydow.
Okay.
As the cop.
Oh, he's a great actor.
So those are both pretty good. Those are, to me, the ones worthy of checking out.
Cool. Yeah. Hell yeah. One of these days I've been saying I'm going to spend like a good month or two and just watch like nothing but Italian stuff because like I am a fan, but like I'm not like the biggest fan, but I'm also still like I was kind of late to the Italian stuff, so I'm still wrapping my head around some of it.
Yeah, there's some that are Mother of Tears. I mean, it's incredibly disappointing if you consider that it's a sequel to Suspiria, basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the most annoying part of it to me is the script, because he's trying to make it like the Da Vinci Code or something. So it feels like a shitty made-for-TV version of the Da Vinci Code. But there's some scenes in there that I actually like. And then his last movie, Dark Glasses, I think was decent. He's definitely made stuff that's a lot worse than that.
When I saw it was a Shudder exclusive, I was like, oh no. So I didn't even watch it.
Now some Shudder stuff's been good though. You never know.
Yeah, but I figured from him, like,
yeah, you're right.
As all you can get.
Yeah, I know he should be on a higher pedestal than that. We should be reserving Shudder exclusive stuff, I think, for smaller directors and stuff. But
well, let me just grab the opera thing because I wanted to point this out.
Okay.
A second.
Yeah, James, it was a trilogy. What was it? Was Inferno the second one?
Yeah, Inferno, Suspiria, and
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like Italians are so weird with like their continuity. Like you can call that a trilogy, but it's like a loose loosely connected trilogy, right?
Thematically, I guess you could say, but yeah, right. I ran into that a lot with when I started watching Takashi Miike movies, and it'd be three, like the Dead or Alive series. There's 3 movies.
Mm-hmm.
It has the same actors, but they're not the same characters.
Yeah.
They're vaguely, there's like similar themes throughout, but it's not really, they're not sequels like we have here. Not how we think of sequels.
Yeah. When we think of sequels, we think of same characters, same storyline, or at least a continuation of the storyline. And like, but those Italian guys were way more artsy fartsy. Like of course they had to do things kind of their own way. So to me, that's kind of the Italian way of doing sequels.
Have you seen Dead or Alive?
No, I haven't seen them, either of them.
So I won't spoil it. Let's just say when Dead or Alive ends, you're like, there's a part 2?
Oh, one of those movies where like everyone pretty much dies at the end. You're like, wait, what?
Bigger than
like,
that even.
Like The Dentist? Yeah, like The Dentist.
Right.
I never you've seen The Dentist, right? I've never seen the second one. But I find it weird that there's a second one because he dies at the end.
I watched it. They
like,
kind of tried to explain it, but it was so lame. I don't even remember what the explanation was now.
Like,
or they might have just glossed it over and like, oh, he got away somehow and he moved to a different town.
Some lazy, like, no, he's alive.
Whatever
just
it was, it wasn't.
He's alive.
They didn't spend a whole lot of time trying to figure out a good reason. So we want to make another one, so we're gonna. So
yeah, I'll watch
figure it out.
I'll watch it, but yeah, I'm not expecting anything. It's not like the first one was high art.
Yeah, I mean it's an alright way to pass the time, I guess I'd put it that way.
Yeah, it's a solid movie. I think they could have, as much as like teeth stuff really fucks with me. I think it does with most people. I think they could have gone way harder with that one. Like I expected like almost like torture porn levels of just fucking teeth being pulled out, and it was actually kind of tame in that.
The whole building like the giant mouth to have the camera in that. I mean that kind of stuff was really cool, but that was such a small part of it.
Yeah, and they did have 1 or 2 scenes where pretty cringy, where you're like, oh fuck,
mm-hmm.
don't do that to the teeth. But, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I made an effort this week to watch more movies. So.
Oh yeah, James just brought up Old Boy, Sympathy for Lady Vengeance, and there's another in just like James, I'm forgetting what the other one is too. Those are fucking great.
Is it Mr. Vengeance?
Yes. I think it is Mr. Vengeance.
I have it too, but where it is.
Yeah. Those are the movies that brought me to the attention of Korean movies. I think it probably did for a lot of us Americans.
I just kept hearing about Old Boy and the hammer scene. And when it was available, I bought it, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Old Boy, yeah. Old Boy is just an undeniable classic. So fucking good. I was gonna say, I wonder where
I went to the bathroom also. That's why.
Yeah. We kept it going.
And James had mentioned Blood for Dracula. This is the 4K of it. I love this movie. But you have to sort of get that. I guess I would call this. It's sort of like campy and satirical in a way that you have to sort of get on the wavelength of. Because I've seen some reviews of it where people just complain, "Oh, the acting's bad," or it's not a regular adaptation of Dracula, but it's supposed to be slightly campy and satirical.
Yeah, I mean, how many times do people need to see the same Dracula story done the same way? I don't know.
Yeah, true. Hold on a second. Yeah, so this is the Severin. This is like the Uber edition. I think it was $60 of Opera.
Does it have a slipcase?
Not anymore.
Yeah, this is the case.
Tear it up.
No, I'm not tearing this up.
That one's too nice.
Well, it's a box.
Oh,
So I
all right.
don't mind boxes.
Yeah, they kind of serve a
And
purpose.
I have a magnifying glass because
Everything's
this is
good.
like impossible to read. The font is so small.
Oh, that makes me feel so good and so seen. I have
Yeah.
cheater glasses now. I can't.
I'm probably gonna need to get glasses soon. So just don't freak out if you see me with glasses. Okay, so this is the
Did you say Severin?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've Severin. I like Severin and Arrow for those deluxe releases. I almost picked up today. I almost picked up the 4K Arrow version of Dark City, but I didn't get it. I was looking at it today at a store. I'm eventually gonna end up buying that because it looks pretty awesome.
Okay, so it has 3 versions of the movie. There's the director's cut in the proper aspect ratio, but then it also has the basically it has the there was a US theatrical cut that never came out, that was never released except on VHS. But to me it's really pointless because I did watch it. All they do is they just cut out a bunch of dialogue scenes so that the movie doesn't make any sense.
Jesus.
So they literally just cut out 10 minutes of dialogue scenes. So basically, several of the characters, like there's the little girl that lives next door, and then the guy that the lead girl likes, Betty. Like their introductory scenes that you see that what their relationship is to Betty. Like they cut those scenes out, so they just show up,
Wow.
and you're like, who are these people?
Dude, Argento must have been fucking livid.
But that version only came out in VHS in the US. And they said in the extras that they were going to release it theatrically in the US, but it never came out for some reason.
So even back then, they're like, Americans are dumb. They don't want dialogue. Just fucking cut all the dialogue out. Just give them the shots, the action scenes.
Yeah, especially
And
the side plot with the little girl that lives next door that helps Betty out, and they like escape together. That it makes absolutely no sense in the American version.
Oof. So it's basically like if you were to rate that movie and then rate the American version, it would be numerous steps below what it should be.
And but it's like there's two. It doesn't say on there. Jesus Christ. Yeah, because it says director's cut and US cut in 2.35, so that's 2 versions of it. Director's cut, US cut that on 4K, and this is on Blu-ray. Yeah, and then it has the movie in the wrong aspect ratio. And the justification for that was they said there were a couple screenings where the movie was shot in the 2.35:1 aspect ratio, which is like a rectangle. And there were a couple screenings where they shot it where it was projected at 1.85:1. And they include that version, but it looks totally fucked up because basically the the way they shot it is I won't get into technical explanation, but basically they shot it with extra headroom on top with the idea that they would crop it they would cut out that headroom.
Mhm.
It was planned that way. So when you don't
Yeah,
cut off
that
the
makes sense.
headroom, like every composition of the movie is fucked up, and then you see stuff you're not supposed to see.
Ugh, yeah, that
Like
sounds
Betty
messy.
is supposed to be naked in the scene, but then because you see extra room at the bottom, you see she's wearing underwear when she's supposed to be naked.
Wow.
And there's other scenes where you see
Oh,
like the appliance, um, like during a murder scene, like you see like special effects equipment,
oh,
and then all
yeah. Why would anyone want to see that? Did they?
I don't know. Um, and this is like a new trend because I've seen this on a few other releases. So you go like, oh, there's 3 versions of the movie. You're like, holy shit. And
Yeah.
it's just like,
Worthless.
yeah, like the other versions are worthless versions.
Yeah. You're like, I'm never watching this version ever again, literally.
They can press 2 more discs and slap them in there for the cost of like what, $2, and then jack up the price of the box another 30.
Yeah. So
Oh yeah.
my
Yeah,
point
no,
is
for
that
sure.
yeah, it just kind of they're just finding anything to fill up 5 discs worth of stuff.
Right.
And the other thing is like there's just way too many featurettes on there. So they could have done like an hour-long making of documentary, but instead they have like 12 featurettes with everyone that worked on the movie, and there's a lot of overlap to what they're talking about. And I think it would, and the Vinegar Syndrome does this a lot too. I think it would be better. You could just make one documentary out of all that footage.
Yeah. Just piece it all together. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I just had pulled this out. This is an example of when it's done right. Like this is the DVD Dawn of the Dead box. Which I assume probably all this has come out on 4K by now. I don't know. I don't upgrade usually, so I'm
I
not up
have,
on that.
I can grab it. I have the second sight.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but has the U.S. theatrical version, the extended, I guess, director's cut, whatever you would call it, and then the zombie cut for that Argento did, and then disc 4 is the Document of the Dead documentary and other documentaries, and other dibs and dabs or whatever on there. But there's also special features on every disc for every film. There's commentary for every version of the film, and all 3 versions are pretty different actually. So this is one where it merited having different cuts of the movie.
Yeah. So, and the second sight one is basically like the 4K version of that. So it's in a
Okay.
box and it's got the 3 versions and then the documentary, which is a great documentary. Yeah, so I would agree. And those are also, I know the different versions in the movie that people want to actually have previously wanted to watch, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Not just a throwaway cut of the
Yeah.
movie.
Because I still haven't, and I still haven't watched that 4K. I got it. I haven't watched those cuts since I had that version, Scott.
Okay.
And I'm curious to, I know I don't prefer the Italian version, but it is quite
I don't either.
different.
Hmm.
And
I ultimately prefer, after seeing everything, I prefer the theatrical, but it is cool to see just the different tone of it, especially Zombie, the different tone of it, just kind of cutting out some
Yeah.
dialogue and cutting out the little bits of humor. It makes it much more of a grim kind of atmosphere to it.
but I'm
Yeah.
curious in rewatching it, uh, which version I prefer. It's probably going to be either the theatrical or the extended cut. But I will say the movie the movie absolutely blew me away the first time I watched it, and it was that the long ass version. I think there might even be 4 cuts. I'm not be interested in looking at it. But it was like the 2 hour, 20-minute
Okay.
version on VHS or something that Anchor Bay put out. Whatever
Yeah.
the longest version. That's how I originally watched it, and it blew me away.
Okay.
Um, so I think I'm sort of sympathetic to that version, but I want to see how it holds up.
There's stuff in that version that I like. There's when they're talking to the cops, they're talking to those cops, and the cops are asking for cigarettes or something, and they say we don't have any, and then they all light up. It's kind of a funny moment. There's like a whole preceding scene to that kind of explained how they got there, because in the theatrical they're just kind of there. So things like that are cool to see. I don't think they're really necessary. And then in the director's cut, they really spell out the theme way too much. They really hammer you over the head with, oh, don't you see you're being seduced by all this cool stuff in the mall and we're losing our souls? And it's like, yeah, we know, but you're supposed to just kind of know that. You're not supposed to tell me that. So I was glad they cut that out.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And that's something that is a problem with a lot of movies, especially nowadays, where it's like way too much. Let me take you by the hand and just walk you through this movie instead of like, letting it play like people do, and
yeah, we don't want to risk that you don't get what we're trying to say. So
yeah, that's some of the best messages are the ones that you have to work a little for, and you got to uncover them. You don't need to be hit over the head with it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. In terms of, these exposition scenes that
they're so stupid sometimes.
Chris,
you see like somebody reading a note from the another character gave them. I don't know about that. That sounds dangerous. They're like talking to themselves out loud. I'm like, you don't have to do that. We're not stupid. Well, some of us are, but still, don't make the movies for the stupids.
Right.
Yeah, because this has been like getting worse since the 90s.
Yeah.
The worst example of that drives me insane, and I'm trying to think, there was a movie within the past couple of years that I saw this in, is when like someone enters a room, the hero enters a room, and then a person is talking to somebody else, and they're like, "Hey, the hero over there, he's the best at what he does." But he has a flaw.
Yeah.
He's
kind of a jerk.
Yeah, like he's an alcoholic. That's his flaw. And then the whole movie is about how this guy, he's a 23-year-old, the greatest builder of missiles in the world. He's a 23-year-old model that that they got to play this character, but he's an alcoholic, and they literally spell it out.
See, I agree, and maybe it's because I'm a Tarantino mark. There's one time that happened that I thought it actually worked, was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, when Steve McQueen's they're explaining who everybody is and their relationships at the Playboy Mansion.
That was. I thought, I thought that was a great scene, actually, because it made sense, because a lot of people don't know about those stories and stuff. Or a lot of people nowadays probably don't even know who Steve McQueen is,
Well, I heard a lot of people that saw that didn't understand what was so great about the ending, because they didn't know Sharon Tate got killed. They didn't know who Sharon Tate was. They didn't know anything about the murder. So,
people said that.
Yeah, I
people that said that about Inglourious Basterds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What they say exactly?
They thought it was historically accurate.
Oh my God. It doesn't even pretend to be historically accurate. That's the whole point of the movie. Is like an alternate timeline type thing.
Yeah. So what I'm referring to is specifically like the screenwriter is such a hack that they want to set up the conflict very early in the story and explain it very clearly.
Just so you know right away, this is the motivation. God forbid you have to spend a half an hour and kind of figure it out, But like, speaking of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think Scott and I talked about this, but Tom, I don't know if you know that Yeah, they're making a sequel to that.
Yeah, that sounds really weird.
Weird, but it's going to be like the stories of Cliff Booth. So I think it'll be cool because I just love that character so much that I needed to see more. Maybe it won't be good, but and is Tarantino even directing that?
No,
I can't remember.
I forget who's
doing
it, but
so that yeah. Now that I bring that up, I'm not sure. I guess it could be good, but like it's not going to be a Tarantino product. I guess
I'm definitely going to watch it. But did you guys read the novelization that Tarantino wrote?
No.
It was cool, but also I think revealed too much about Cliff. Like spelled out some things that I wish were left a mystery. So I don't know. That's kind of hard.
Oh, yeah, Clay, but yeah, it's David Fincher is doing it.
Oh, really?
Okay. Well, that's not a bad sign.
I don't know. That just sounds kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
I generally like David Fincher, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what the motivation was behind it. I'm not sure whose idea it was to do it, or could have been Brad Pitt's, could have been, who knows? Yeah, I guess.
I have no idea. So I got, if you want to switch topics, I got something in the mail today that's interesting.
Oh.
So I have a question. So this is Spinal Tap. Is coming out in a couple months on 4K by Criterion.
Cool.
And this is Criterion's. This would be Criterion's fourth release of the movie. Can you name the first three formats that Criterion released This is Spinal Tap on?
Formats?
This is the 4K will be the fourth.
Weird.
Freaking HD DVD. I don't know.
No. Well, what are the? What's one of them?
Well, DVD and Blu-ray, right?
Oh wait, did they? No, they didn't. I'm sorry. No, they didn't release it on Blu-ray. So this is the fourth will be the 4K, and they released it in 3 different formats previously. Not Blu-ray.
For a Laserdisc.
Laserdisc is one.
Okay. VHS?
No.
It's good to know it's not like the obvious formats.
What's the most common
Video
format?
disc?
No, what's the most common format of all time?
DVD?
DVD.
Okay.
Their first release was on a different format, not Laserdisc, not DVD, not VHS,
not HD.
DVD. No, not CED.
Oh my god. Oh, was it like one of those reel-to-reel thing? Or Simon said Betamax.
No, not Betamax. I have it in my hand. You want to see it?
Yes.
Sure.
A thumb drive.
Criterion's first release of this is Spinal. No. CD-ROM.
Oh Jesus.
CD-ROM? What the?
CD-ROM.
Weird. A movie? I didn't know anyone released a movie on CD-ROM.
There's there might be only I think there's less than 10 in, at least in North American history, of movies that have been released on CD-ROM.
I didn't even know. Yeah, I didn't even know that was a format, so I would have never guessed that.
And I think Criterion released 3.
Wow.
Or 4.
What would be the advantage to that? I don't even understand.
Well, it's like an interactive version of the movie.
Okay, yeah. So that was gonna be my guess. It must have a bunch of that interactive stuff like you would get with the, like those weird bonus discs and stuff back in the day.
But I've heard it actually has exclusive stuff that's only on this version. So I'm going to try to check it out.
Is it can any operating system run it now? Or you have to download something weird to get it to work?
Yeah, I have to figure that out.
he'll cross that bridge when he gets there.
Yeah, I can rip the video files.
Yeah, true. You
So
can watch it somehow. It might not be the intended way. I don't know.
So there you go. So you learned something.
I did not know Criterion put out CD-ROMs.
Only 3 of them.
When was that Spinal Tap you have? When did that come out? Early 2000s or
I think 95.
95? Shit. Is that a rarity or is that like, what do you think?
It didn't cost that much because I
I
don't
guess
know
it
that
depends on how
people.
many copies were made and all that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Some sicko would pay a lot of money for that, I bet.
It sounds like it. It sounds like one of those things that like some guy has to have in his collection, you know?
Yeah, but I don't think people know about it. That's probably the only reason why. But it came out maybe 6 months before the Laserdisc.
And what's weird about that, I assume in 95, if it's a CD-ROM, I mean, did you have to play that in a computer?
Yes.
Yeah. So you could only watch it on your 1995 computer.
Yeah, Windows 95.
Your 10-inch screen or not even.
If the screen was any bigger, it'd probably just be a bunch of pixels, right?
Yeah, it probably would be. I don't know. Yeah, you would think. You probably can't play that on like a fucking 65-inch TV or anything.
Well, it's just going to make the shittiness bigger.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's also because it's also going to be the worst quality version of This Is Spinal Tap that has ever existed on home video.
Yeah, that's true. It reminds me of when big TVs like started to get a little bit cheaper, like in the early 2000s. I remember I took my PlayStation to my buddy's house, like hooked it up, but it was like a 55-inch TV, and it looked so shitty. I was like, oh, I always thought it would look cool. It looks so terrible. It just like Tom said, it just stretches it out. The quality is already set to a certain level. You can't make it look better by or you can't make it look good by making it any bigger.
Yeah, unless you have upscaling.
Yeah.
But even then, you're just like something is making fake pixels,
Right.
and inserting them into there.
Geez, my copy of Spinal Tap is like the MGM or something. It's not even a Criterion. It's a DVD.
Yeah, same here. I bet I have the same one you have. What a classic, though. I fucking love that movie.
Yeah, I have it on Blu-ray.
Oh,
I think it's MGM.
Let's take like 1 minute here and say our favorite Spinal Tap scene. Mine would be the one where what's his name? Not Nigel, but the guitarist. Where they're doing the thing where he's showing the documentary guy all his guitars. It is like his guitar room. This one, and his amp, of course. You know, this amp goes to 11. it's like 10, but one more.
The funniest thing is the director Marty DeBurgi, Reiner. So he says that, and then DeBurgi breaks down in a very detailed fashion, like you can just make 10 higher.
Yeah.
And it's like
why don't you just make 10 the loudest?
Yeah, just make
but this
10
one goes to 11
louder. He explains it to a child.
Yeah,
right, like a child would understand.
But
And
he
then
doesn't.
and then not was it Nigel?
I always want to say Nigel. I think it is. Yeah, it is Nigel.
Nigel. The funniest thing about that scene is he goes through his explanation, very well thought out,
Yeah.
easy to understand.
Yeah.
And Nigel just pauses for like a good 3 seconds.
Because it's going over his head entirely.
Because he's like, you see him like, okay, he's going to process this information. And then he just goes, but this goes to 11.
But it's better.
Yeah.
And that same scene where he's like with the guitars, like, oh, the guy goes to touch. Don't touch it. No, I wasn't going to touch it. I'm just looking at it. Well, don't look at it either.
Yeah. But just that long beat is perfect.
Yes.
Of him processing that information. My favorite line in that movie, which is not one anyone else remembers, but in the scene with the crackers, like they don't fit the things, the little pieces of bologna, or it's the little pieces of bread. and the spread in the green room,
Yeah.
and he's like, "This is a disaster." Um, I forget who says it though.
I actually have
Ma-
a buddy who looks just like Nigel Tufnell. I'll send you guys pictures later.
Maybe it was Nigel, but the he like throws the cracker down and then he's like, uh, "Don't worry." Or somebody says, "Yeah, don't worry, we'll overcome it. We're professionals." And it's just a little throwaway line, but I love that
We're professionals.
they can overcome this obstacle of
That-
the bread and the meat
Yeah.
are different sizes.
Yeah.
that was
Together
their
we
hellish
can
road
overcome.
story for the tour.
And do you guys know about the Black Sabbath Stonehenge story? Where Black
Yes.
Sabbath tried to do Stonehenge.
Yes.
Okay,
It's
and that's
awesome.
what it was based on.
It's awesome. You
The-
could even make that shit up, you know.
But they just you guys know about it. I don't know, like general fans of the movie even realize that the whole Stonehenge thing was like an inversion of the Black Sabbath Stonehenge.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the Black Sabbath Stonehenge was too big.
The born again.
And
Yeah.
then it had the little guy as the devil running around instead of a happy leprechaun. So
Yeah, because the Sabbath
like
guys, when they ordered that, they didn't know it was going to be so big, and they're like, we got it, and it was like fucking 10 times bigger than we thought it was going to be, but we used it anyway because we paid for it, and like, yeah, I guess that was a monumental disaster to like, they had to set that shit up every night, and like, you know,
I
I
thought
heard
they
it was
couldn't get it in most places, right? Like it was like
probably,
festival stages they could use it, but that was about it.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, scenes, I don't know. I've got just like certain moments like when who is Michael McKean? Is that David?
I think so.
The singer. When after Nigel quits and he's trying to downplay it and he goes it's members come and go. We've had 37 people in this band.
Yeah, and mostly drummers too.
Right.
I love when they talk about like the history of their drummers and how they all like died and stuff. Like one of their drummers like sold his dialysis machine or something for money.
And then like right following that is their gig at like it's like at a freaking amusement park or something, and he's like, "Welcome to the birth of Spinal Tap Mark II."
Mark II.
The Jazz Odyssey. And then halfway through, David points to Derek, and he's like, "Oh, that's our bassist Derek. He wrote this." When he sees everybody hates it.
Oh yeah, Derek. Yeah, Derek is great too.
And I can show off another Blu-ray if you guys want.
Sure.
I'm looking up some information. Have you seen Terrifying Girls High School Animal Classmates?
No.
No, but I think I need to.
Yeah.
So this is or at least in the past year, that they released this on Blu-ray, the Japanese Pinky Violence movie. I'm looking up the series. Okay. So basically, there's a series of 4 films from the early 70s called Terrifying Girls High School. And Reiko Iki is the star of all 4 of them, but I don't think they have anything to do with one another, other than she plays the same character. And then the second one was released on DVD, which I have, and that was previously the only one of these movies that had been available in the US anyways. So this is the 4th one. And then 2 and 3 are coming out on Blu-ray, and I pre-ordered those. And then the first one has never come out in the US, but I found an illicit channel to download it. And then I was able to download the movie without subtitles, and I found a different illicit channel to download the subtitles. So I haven't watched the movie yet, but
That's a lot of work.
I do have it. So I don't know why the first one hasn't come out in North America, but yeah, this is just really awesome. It's basically like this a girl gang runs this high school. It's like a Catholic boarding school, and then they have these new girls, like Catholic boarding school for bad girls or something.
Very Japanese.
Yeah, and then so these new girls come in, and you know the gang constantly messes with them, and then there's an all-out war between the gang of girls and then the other girls that aren't in the gang, basically, that are fed up with these bitches.
It's almost like a battle royale situation.
Yeah, and and like the final, well, so basically, like there's a scene where one of the new girls, one of the like they're constantly fucking with the new girls that come in the school. So one of the gags they do is one of the gang members sticks a porno mag on a girl's desk so she can get in trouble. So the teacher comes by and sees a porno mag, and then obviously infers that this girl brought it in the school or whatever. So the teacher picks it up and rolls it up and then smacks her in the head with it, and like calls her a sex pervert.
Classic.
And then so that girl's pissed that she got framed, you know, with this porno mag, you know. And then later on, during the big battle, they all have like sticks and kendo sticks and 2x4s that they're hitting each other with. And then the girl that got the I guess framed with the porno mag, she's running around with a 2x4, and her tits fly out, and she's like Hacksaw Jim Duggan, just knocking the gang members in the head with this 2x4.
Damn.
Like she's just had enough.
I'm not even gonna put my 2x4 to put my 2x4 down to put my boobs away.
No,
I'm just gonna swing this motherfucker.
She's very tired of you know, being harassed and stuff.
Who put this out?
Discotech.
Okay, I'm not familiar with them.
It's a company I think that mostly puts out anime.
Okay,
Makes sense.
But yeah, it's awesome, and I'm gonna be watching the other movies when I get them.
It sounds like a lot of fun, to be honest. I'd watch that.
And of course, there's like pervert janitors that peek on the girls, and
no,
of course,
you know, all that kind of stuff. And the school is corrupt. You know, all the whatever the principals are, or however, whatever title they give them, you know, they're all corrupt. And then so the good girls fight against the gang, but the gang is also basically an arm of the corrupt officials that run the school. So the actual ending is really awesome.
So it's kind of almost political too. The storyline is like a lot of Japanese movies. There's always like, not always, but there's often like that underlying political theme, which I always like. I think it usually works.
Yeah. So the ending, the last like 20 minutes with the battle, and then everything that happens after that, where they go after the school officials, is really, really awesome.
That sounds cool, actually. I'd watch that. I'm gonna have to check my local store because they get a lot of these like re-released Japanese movies and stuff. So
I guess I just pulled out some kind of interesting packages, and since you're talking about Japanese, this is the anime Boogie Pop and Others. Or no, I'm sorry, that's the name of the book. Boogie
I didn't
Pop.
I didn't know you watched any anime.
I used to. This is, I mean, everything I've watched is at least 20 years old.
Yeah, true.
But this is nice hard box. Lid comes off. It's got the DVDs in there. It's got a little package of like cards in here.
Dude, old anime is awesome. What year is that from?
This is 90.
90s. Yeah.
The box says 2002. So that's when it came out here. I would say late 90s.
Okay.
It's a really interesting kind of story because it's based on a book, and the events of the book kind of happen like off screen a little bit. Sometimes you see glimpses of it. So there's some like event like that happens at some power plant with cosmic ramifications, but you don't ever see that. It's more of an anthology story about what happens afterwards, and there's like these ghost figures running around, and each episode there's like a different kid and their story, and they interact with the supernatural elements. But there's kind of a cohesive framework to it, but it doesn't really. You're always kind of on the periphery of what the story is, if that makes any sense. So it's a puzzle kind of to figure out. You can figure it out if you want. There's a live action movie that kind of spells out some of the stuff, but it's not as well done as the anime.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do kind of miss these big old boxes of.
Yeah, I have to check that out. I do like
and just sit down and binge it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 90s. Yeah, 90s anime is actually, there's a lot of cool shit out there. Even 80s, old anime is awesome. I'm no expert either though.
No, I don't. Like everything I like is like things that probably modern anime fans may not have even seen because it's old, like freaking
I'm sure.
Crisis or Cowboy Bebop or stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, my son is a huge fan of anime, but he doesn't really, at least so far, he doesn't dig too far back. Like he does like Cowboy Bebop, but I told him I had to show him like Vampire Hunter D. You know, he's like, yeah, I've heard of it. I'm like, well,
right.
You're a poser. I'm sorry to break it to you, but you know, you don't just jump to to death metal. You have to listen to Black Sabbath first. I didn't actually say that, by the way. It was just to be known. Yeah, I did not berate my son for liking something.
No, you have to start in 1970 and work your way up.
Do you know Dragon Warrior and Dragon Quest for the NES? Or did you ever play Dragon Warrior?
No.
I remember Dragon Quest, oddly enough.
Well, it was Dragon Warrior in the US for Nintendo.
Okay. Was that the one where like it's like it's a lot of like it's a side scroller. I guess all games were No. Okay.
It's the role-playing series.
Oh, no, I'm way off.
Okay. Well, there was an anime TV series version of Dragon Warrior / Dragon Quest. It was sort of a, Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
It was sort of a precursor to Final Fantasy.
That's awesome.
But they had this was on the West Coast. They showed the Dragon Quest anime TV series at like 5 a.m. in the morning on Saturdays.
5 a.m. Who's up at 5 a.m. on a Saturday?
Well, yeah. Well, I was apparently.
Yeah.
A few times.
Back then you had to. If there was something you wanted to watch, you had to make the time for it. It wasn't, you couldn't watch things at your leisure,
But I was a huge fan of the series, so I did get up that early in the morning to watch it at least a few times.
That's fucking dedication.
But at least the English version is pretty impossible to find. But I do remember seeing it. So this would have been like the late 80s. So that was the
old
first
anime.
That was the first anime thing I'd ever seen.
I remember seeing anime for the first time, I think in like the early 90s, and I remember thinking like, what the I didn't know this kind of thing existed. Like these are the most violent cartoons I've ever seen. Like I loved it instantly.
Yeah, we had a cool video store here that would stock a few things. That's where I saw it first, and then the comic shop I used to go to would get all kinds of stuff in, like usually like bootleg type stuff, but
like Fist of the North Star and all that. Like
yeah, that's where I kind of got into it.
Yeah, that was the big one, was Fist of the North Star.
It's so awesome. I still love Fist of the North Star. You can just put that on anytime, and it's it's great. I just love that Japanese like ultra violence for some reason that whether it's a anime or live action, I can't get enough of that old school. I mean, the Japanese taught me how to like in the early 2000s, late 90s, like how much I was missing like in the world of cinema. I'm like, oh shit, these guys are doing it like they were Japanese and French. They were just doing it like pulling no punches. And then over here in the U.S., we were like really tame back then. I think we learned from them to be like, all right, we need to start pushing our shit.
Well, action movies especially were so lame, and until
Yeah,
everybody saw Hong Kong and like, oh, let's just do that.
exactly. Yeah. That's the formula.
Well, then they hired John Woo.
Yep.
Then they John Woo sold his soul, and that was the end of John Woo.
Oh yeah, I know. It's true.
I was so freaking psyched for Hard Target, you guys. I couldn't wait.
I know.
His first American movie, Van Damme, and then it was what it was.
Yeah. What's the only American movie he's really known for is Face Off, I think.
Yeah.
But his Japanese stuff, Hard Boy, the Chow Yun Fat, and yeah, that stuff was just so, like you said, yeah. I feel like American filmmakers caught on to that, and they're like, oh shit, we're doing it wrong. This is way more stylish and violent and cool.
It was like somebody thought, hey, instead of a gunfight being I pop up, shoot, and then you duck, and then repeat, how about every time you shoot, you kill somebody?
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's way better. That's way more exciting.
Yeah. Not only that, but you're like, you're going to be doing there's going to be a lot of choreography and
like you do a cartwheel and shoot once and 3 people fall over dead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Then throw in some doves and then you're good. That's a movie.
Yeah. Or you always have to jump, you got to do your sideways jump and
oh yeah, right.
Or slide down a banister.
I was wondering if, like, in the history of the world, has there been anyone that's ever like dove and shot somebody?
Probably
I like to
not.
think so.
I wonder if anyone today would watch like The Killer and think, oh, what a cheesy piece of crap. But I saw it.
Probably.
I was in high school, early high school probably, and for some reason it got released on VHS here, and I saw that movie and I was like, it was like a revelation. Like, I didn't know a movie could be like this. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
This is what I've been looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody wants to see the American action shit anymore after you've seen that. Oh, until we started to rip it off. Of course.
Yeah, right. And ruin it. Yeah.
All right. I have something else I can show if you want.
Sure.
Yeah. I haven't shown anything. I guess I could start too. Go for it.
I rewatched this movie. This is part of the Shout Factory's Blaxploitation box set on 4K.
Cool.
This is across 110th Street.
Oh, yeah, Fat Kodo. Hell yeah. And
I had the soundtrack, but I couldn't find it. I don't know what I had it out here because I was listening to it. I don't know what I did with it. This is 1973. And I would more compare this movie to The French Connection. So calling it it's sort of like half blaxploitation, half a mob movie. And the plot is actually, well, let me explain it this way. Like, it's basically like it's Harlem, and then like the Italian neighborhood, it's the mafia. So, and then like hoods in Harlem, black hoods, they get together and they have this drug operation, but then these 2 black guys steal $300,000 from them. And then Anthony Quinn is like the old Italian cop that's on the case. And then Yaphet Kotto is sort of the younger, more liberal black cop that's also on the case. So you have this thing where you have these competing neighborhoods. and then the mafia is also after the two guys, as well as the two cops, the two detectives. And then Anthony Franciosa, I'm not sure how you say it, but he's in Dario Argento's Tenebrae. He's the lead in Tenebrae and been in a bunch of stuff. He's the mob guy that's after these two hoods that stole the money.
They got an actual Italian guy.
Yeah, and he's just constant N bombs and
Oh,
Jungle Bunny, this, that, and the other.
which is
Um,
like, from what I've always read, like that's not unrealistic because like the Italians from that time were super fucking xenophobic.
Yeah.
So,
From that time?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we could go there. Yeah. So
I hear a lot of stories about Staten Island. I don't know.
yeah.
So so the movie, I would guess, was influenced by French Connection.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It's very gritty, and there's a lot of like almost documentary type camera work.
That's cool.
And then it has the thing where it has the racial division, and then the sort of young cop and older cop, and then it also has the thing where you have the Anthony Quinn plays the Italian cop that's more fascistic, I guess you could say, more of a Dirty Harry type cop, and like they're going after the same two guys and interviewing, various hoods and stuff, and his tactics and also the tactics of the racist mafia guy are basically kind of similar.
Yeah. Strong arm type.
Yeah, so it kind of plays with that. It's like, if you're a dirty cop or a mob guy, is there really that much difference?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Not really. Yeah, not
It's
really.
really smart about that. So it's only, there's the guy who plays Huggy Bear in Starsky and Hutch, of course, is in it.
Huggy Bear is awesome.
But I would call it like half a blaxploitation movie.
Yeah.
And half a super gritty 70s New York crime movie.
I'm almost getting like Larry Cohen vibes from what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like Black Caesar and stuff like that.
Yeah. But also, if you like a movie like Serpico or something,
Yeah.
I think you would like this movie. And then you might remember the opening song in Jackie Brown is Across 110th Street.
I love Jackie Brown.
And then the opening song in this movie is Across 110th Street. But the version I prefer the version in Jackie Brown to the version that's actually in the movie. And the Jackie Brown version is the first version on the soundtrack. There's like four versions of the song. There's the Jackie Brown one, and the first version on the soundtrack, to me, are the best. They're the same. To me, that's the best version.
Yeah.
And it's Bobby Womack does the song. Like, there's also a version on one of his albums, but I don't like that. I don't like it as much.
Yeah. Cool. Hell yeah.
But yeah, it's an awesome movie, and it's, like I said, not just a blaxploitation movie. If you like 70s gritty crime,
I love that kind of shit.
Cop movies, definitely check it out.
Those are kind of like, those are the only cop movies I like, really, are those, is that style, like the gritty, gritty tale of, cops that some of them are good and some of them are bad, and I love shit like that.
I'm gonna wait for the Disney version where they take out all the bad words, and then
I'm
not offended.
Yeah, we need.
Or no, was it Criterion that did that?
The French Connection?
French Connection?
No, I think that was Disney.
Okay.
I would hope Criterion wouldn't do that. That'd
right.
be
I don't know why I thought that. That popped in my head, but yeah.
It happens.
I don't think Criterion has ever intentionally censored anything.
Okay.
I would hope not. That'd be so disappointing. I mean, it's disappointing when anyone does it, but yeah.
I just got this thing stared at me, so I'll just do. This is just a quick one. I just thought this would be funny. This is my first purchase when I got a DVD player. The old Nightmare on Elm Street box.
Classic.
Yep. Oh
Classic.
my gosh. This made me buy a DVD player. I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, it's got all the movies, and it makes a picture.
Oh yeah.
You got a tiny little book in it. And I want to say this thing was like $200
Oh damn.
for 7 movies and a bonus disc.
Yeah.
I don't. I used to have it, but I don't remember how much it was.
It was I wouldn't maybe 150. It was definitely over 100, but I've held on to it. I don't know. I've seen it now for like people selling it for like $20.
You know how it goes.
But hey, you know what? It was very important to me at the time, and I'm glad I bought it. I got a lot of enjoyment out of it. So
yeah, at this point, you might as well just hold on to that.
yeah, right. For the lulz.
Yes.
Did you ever play? It comes with an interactive game thing.
I did. I never. Supposedly, if you won it, you got to see some kind of deleted scene from the first movie. I never could get to what they were talking about.
Yeah, you go in and there's all these Easter eggs, and you're basically going through the boiler room. So there were like Easter eggs of like Robert Englund on MTV hanging out with Dawkins and stuff.
Yeah,
and all this random stuff. But I think I remember just like ripping the files off of the disc just to cheat.
Yeah, I mean that kind of thing, especially at the time, was novel and it was cool. But like, you know, after you've done that, then say you wanted to see that little docking bit again, you're like, where the frick was that? And you got to go through the stupid game. I want to just click it and watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a formative box set, I guess I would say.
I wonder if Robert Englund was doing coke with Doc, and I wonder if that was one of the scene or one of the stories where everyone's like sniffing blow off of the glove. You know, have you guys ever heard that? I wonder if Dawkins was involved in that. I don't know if the Dawkins guys were drug guys or not. They didn't really seem like it, but I think in the 80s it didn't matter. You didn't even have to be a drug guy to do coke.
Yeah, I don't think coke counted.
If you were a rock star in the 80s,
yeah, you've done coke.
Whether you did coke or did not do coke, same difference.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think it's fair to say that you did do coke if you were a rock band in the 80s, just from what I've heard. There's a 0%, even probably Stryper probably did coke.
Wow.
I'm not saying that out of any. Yeah, I have no knowledge. I'm just saying they probably did, meaning I don't know what I'm talking about.
That'd be wild. You get a lawsuit tomorrow.
Stryper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stryper Incorporated shows up with a subpoena.
I would roll over on you. I'd be like, that's Tom's channel, man. He told me to say it.
Yeah.
This is all scripted, man.
Michael Sweet LLC.
I guess I'll show a few things that I've picked up recently.
Okay.
Not a ton. These first two you guys will like because you just probably will. I picked up Slumber Party Massacre on Blu-ray. Nothing to say about that. I just had to have it. Sleepaway Camp. Didn't have that on Blu-ray. Had to get that. This one right here was a movie that I never even intended on watching.
Quick quote. Yo, Angela, why you so fucked up?
Yo, Angela.
The best quote.
Yeah, then I picked up the Boogeyman, which I never even intended on watching because it's PG-13 and everything, and it's came out a couple years ago. But it's a Stephen King story. I heard it's actually pretty decent. I really like Sophie Thatcher. She's in it. Yeah, David Desmalchian.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah, I've heard it's better than what most people just expected from a movie called The Boogeyman, and it looks. I just like when I saw the trailer, it just brought me back to like early 2000s horror, but heard it's better than that, so I picked that up.
Eli, have you seen the one from the early 80s? The version of the Boogeyman?
No, I remember it coming. There's like 3 of them, I think. There's sequels and shit. I never saw them.
No, not
Oh,
the
that's
one you're
90s.
no,
That's
I mean
90s.
the Stephen King adaptation.
No, I don't
There
even think I
was
knew about it.
not many people know about it, but it was a short that they showed. I don't remember which channel. It might have been on HBO
Wow,
or
weird.
it was like a 30-minute short adaptation of the Stephen King novel or short story, whatever.
Wow.
And I have it on VHS, and I think it was only released on VHS.
That's awesome. Wow, no, I have not
So
seen
when
that.
it's not great. I think it's decent. But I'm organizing all my VHS, so eventually I'll come across it and I'll show it to you. And I'm sure it's probably on YouTube or something.
It might be, yeah, at this
But
point.
I can try to find like the art. Go ahead and show off, and I'll try to find the artwork for it.
Cool. Yeah, then I picked up the Creep tapes, season 1. I don't know if you guys have ever or any of you guys are a fan of the Creep movies.
I've seen the first 2. I really like them.
Yeah, there's just the 2, and then there's this now. So yeah, the Mark Duplass. I was kind of a late, like I saw Creep, the first one when it came out. Kind of funny. Like I think I don't know what my problem was. I didn't really like it the first time I saw it, and then I watched it again, and I just loved it. And I've only watched 1 episode of the Creep tapes so far, but it totally lives up to the movies. I felt like it. I mean, the movies at this point, the first Creep movie probably came out 10 years ago or more. Maybe not. Pretty close. I would say probably pretty close. 10 years though. And you know how like things go. Sometimes when you have that long of a break, somebody tries to resurrect their old projects. You know, the vibe's not there anymore because people change. But I would say the vibes are totally here. Just based off the first episode, it just slides right in with the movies. So based off that episode, I would say check it out. But maybe the rest of them aren't as good. But I feel good about it.
I remember that box.
No
This
shit.
is the artwork is awesome on this.
That is really cool.
So the one I have is this, but it's released by a different company, but it's like the same cover.
Okay.
And
Damn.
it's like a 30-minute short.
That's
yeah.
really
As far
cool.
as Boogeyman, I was thinking of the movie with
the 90s one or the 2000s.
Susanna York from the 80s.
Yeah. Oh, was it 80s?
There's the Uli Lumel movies.
I'm thinking of the wrong.
Which is a totally different. Yeah, that's a totally different. Has nothing to do with Stephen King.
Yeah.
I don't even know
the first one
I'm
being
talking.
good and the second one being utter trash, but I haven't seen them in so long I couldn't swear to it.
Agree.
Huh.
The second one is basically like it's like a meta thing where Uli Lumel is a director and there's a bunch of flash. It's sort of a similar thing to Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2,
Okay.
where half the movie is the previous movie. So it's not good.
It doesn't. I was gonna say that doesn't sound good. And then last, I got the 4K steelbook of Creature from the Black Lagoon. I just love this cover.
Nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's so cool. Probably arguably one of my favorite Universal, monster movies. Probably top 3, I would say. And as a character, I just always loved the character so much. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about the creature to me that always is I've liked.
Sick.
Yeah. I would like to see a modern remake, honestly, of the Creature of the Black Lagoon. I don't know why. I don't understand why we've gotten so many Frankensteins and so many Draculas and Wolfmans. Has there ever been a remake of the Creature?
Oh, Shape of Water.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Shape of Water.
You're saying an official one.
Yeah,
I think part of it is Dracula and Frankenstein are public domain, right? So anyone can do that.
Yeah,
true. That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, maybe the creature, maybe he's tied up in rights issues. I don't know.
Still in that Dark Universe contract they were the Dark Universe they're gonna make.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. But I feel like it's one of those things we're going to get one eventually, right? You know, with the way things are going right now. But hopefully, when we do, it's good.
That's a pretty special movie to me. My dad took me to see it. There was some random re-release in the 80s. They were showing it in 3D, so he took me to see it.
That's cool.
And then years later, I mean, I was married and had a kid, and they in Alamo Draft House when we had one here. They were showing it in 3D, so I got to take my dad to see it, again.
Oh, that's so cool. That's
yeah.
awesome.
And it helps. It's an awesome movie too. So
I love it.
Not one of those old movies that you kind of tolerate and like, oh well, it's good for its time. I think it's a really good movie.
Exactly. That's how I feel about it too. I feel like there's so much to explore. It's just like an very underrated character and story.
My Vinegar Syndrome order came.
Oh, no shit.
Sick.
Finally.
3 years later.
Nothing too exciting to anybody probably. I got the From Beyond 4K.
Look at that.
I only have the DVD, which has the deleted stuff put back in, but the quality is super terrible on it. And I guess
wonder if I have that DVD as well.
I have the Shout Factory Blu-ray.
Okay.
Yeah, that movie rules. I guess I do like Reanimator a little more, but that's because I just love Reanimator.
I've always liked Reanimator more, but like I feel like lately I might be changing my mind. I might be actually shifting over to From Beyond.
I think I burned out Reanimator, so now I'm prefer From Beyond because I haven't seen it 1,000 times.
Yeah, I might have done that too. I'm not actually sure, but lately I've been really drawn to From Beyond.
Well, to stay on brand, I had to get the 4K of Showgirls.
Yeah, I wanted to get that too.
Come on. This is a fantastic film. I don't care what anybody says. It's so fucking terrible. Such a failure in every way. And there's continuity. I mean, what is not to love?
Paul Verhoeven. Need I say more?
Yeah, I had a blog many years ago, and I wrote about Showgirls. So I have to rewatch it. I've not seen it in forever, but argued sort of the satire element of it that Verhoeven was going for. Yeah. So I think there is actually some really good substance in the movie, on top of the ridiculous shit.
He still stands by it. Paul Verhoeven actually still stands by that movie. He said he still likes it and he's still proud of it.
I'm curious kind of to dig into the special features and see what he has to say.
Yeah. For what I've heard, he still likes it.
I don't know. Maybe we're all blinded by Elizabeth Berkley's strange choices.
Yeah,
she's not terrible. She's not a terrible actor. She's been in other things and she's fine. So obviously she chose to do it this way.
Well, she was probably told. Was told to do it that way.
Right. So I don't know. Maybe I need to reevaluate it. But you know what? No matter what, there's tons of boobs, so I'm gonna like it no matter what.
Yeah.
Speaking of boobs, I got this Linnea Quigley double feature.
Woo.
Murder Weapon and Deadly Embrace, two of her direct-to-video classics, directed by David Dakota.
I think I've seen Deadly Weapon.
One's Deadly Embrace is like a erotic thriller with Jan Michael Vincent on his start of his spiral downwards.
Jan Michael Vincent.
Murder Weapon is a little bit more of a horror-ish movie with, of course, tons of boobs. But you know what? Listening to or watching these movies with the commentary, it's Linnea Quigley and David Dakota doing the commentary. No matter what you think of the movies, to me is just super entertaining hearing about making these movies in 5 days in the 80s and how they got kicked out of their location and had to fake it the rest of the movie. And I really like that aspect of it. And these are movies that like I I would not pay a $50 Vinegar Syndrome premium for these movies. But it's
No.
2 of them on a disc for $15. I was like, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
And then the other one was Nightmare Sisters, which I think we talked about last week. The movie they had 3 days to make and had a location. So
Doesn't mean it can't be good.
famous for being only the second of 2 movies to have the 3 main scream queens in it. They just finished Sorority Babes and the Slimeball Bolorama, and they had like extra time and extra film, so they made this movie. Yeah, did I need to upgrade this? Probably not, but I was already paying the shipping, so I got it.
Linnea Quigley. Anything is worth it, to see her.
big fan. Have you ever seen Psycho from Texas?
I have.
Only the clips.
Yeah, there's this scene. Oh, because it was on Red Letter Media.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this scene where she's a barmaid or something, and then the psycho makes her strip naked, and he pours beer on her.
Yeah.
And this is one of her first roles.
And she looks like she's 14.
Yeah. And then to go back to From Beyond, I first became aware of that movie. There was a Comedy Central show. It might have been before it was Comedy Central, where it was just called the Comedy Channel.
Oh yeah, old school.
I think it was called Cult Movies, and it was like Siskel and Ebert, but they would show clips of and discuss cult movies. So they would do like 2 movies an episode, and they did like Basket Case and I Come in Peace was one of them.
Okay.
And one of them was From Beyond that they did. And they there's no like evidence of this. The only evidence I could find that the show even existed is I found a commercial, Comedy Central or Comedy Channel commercial on YouTube for it. But it was a really awesome show, but I don't think it lasted very long.
That's sounds like almost lost media status.
Yeah. But they they did Street Trash, and that scene where the guy gets his penis ripped off and they play Keep Away. They played
Trash.
that entire scene.
What? Really?
Yeah, so this was pretty wild in like 94 that you could see a guy getting his dick ripped off, and so maybe that's why they didn't. But I think they only lasted like 6 episodes or something.
Yeah, no wonder. No, I wonder why.
Did kind of off topic, but kind of on topic for me. Have you guys seen the Street Trash remake?
I bought it. I have not watched it yet. I have it. Is it bad?
I made it like a half hour.
Oh no, shit. Oh,
but I'm a sour bitch, so you might like it. You might like it. I don't know.
No, we'll see.
They made it They were making it super political.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
Not for me.
I'll let you know when I watch it then. Simon's gonna has some stuff for us. Simon, I'm offended that I sent you your package so quick, and you sit here telling me that it's gonna be a while.
Yeah, really.
I mean, quick. I still haven't sent it to you, but it's it's gonna be quick.
Well, before the stream last week, John at Rock Metal Plus and Marty and Sean the Beast were doing their movie stream, and they were talking about Island of Death, which I'd never seen, and they were just going on and on about what a effed up movie it is, and I was like, I need to see this movie.
Yeah, I have a copy of it.
Okay.
I think I have a DVD of it. I can rip it and send it to you.
That'd be awesome. Thank you. That's what Simon was saying. I was saying I was looking for it here, and it seemed to be either hard to find or expensive. And he was saying maybe he could find me one. But yeah, I'm just content just to watch it. I don't need to own it.
Yeah, it is. It is fucked up. But it's a little try hard. Like let's have a guy do fucked up stuff just because it'll be fucked up.
Shock value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can get that over to you.
Cool, thank you.
So I have vinegar syndrome stuff, a thing. Phase 4. Do you know about this movie?
I don't know it.
I don't think so either. I might have heard of it.
1974. First of all, I really hate this cover. So it's ants making a skull, and it's the box over the box, and then you have a booklet, and then it has a slip cover. So I got to take that off.
What the fuck?
And then this is the other cover, and then finally I get to this.
That's the best one right there.
Yeah.
That packaging, it better be friggin' awesome.
Yeah, I love this movie. I think it's awesome. Basically, I had seen it on DVD. Whenever it came out on DVD, I think I rented it. But all the vinegar syndrome people that I've seen talk about it, like say it's horrible, and I don't really get that. I think like a lot of people just think it's going to be a stupid killer ant movie.
That's
And
probably
then
what I would have assumed.
and then they're disappointed. But like I just can't wrap my mind around that. You think this movie is horrible, but then Auntie Lee's Meat Pies is great. If
Yeah.
you're a vinegar syndrome.
And worth $60.
So basically, the way I would describe this movie is it's like 2001: A Space Odyssey, but the threat is that so I guess this is up for debate, but like 2001: A Space Odyssey to me is partially about higher intelligent beings. They basically create man by dropping the monolith in there. So basically, it's like aliens manipulating humans to make them more intelligent. There's sort of a similar thing in Phase 4, but it's ants, actual ants, not monster ants, that become more intelligent. So they decide to basically take over humanity.
That's actually a really cool plot because, like, yeah, I like that.
And then, like, kind of like they decide they're going to manipulate humanity because they're now super intelligent, more intelligent than man, even.
That's crazy. The ants are?
Yeah, the ants.
I was gonna say, can you imagine what if like that's a cool concept because what if like I mean ants are fairly smart for what they are, but like can you imagine if they were smarter and they actually were doing shit behind the scenes that we didn't know about? That would be cool, actually.
So and like there's a lot of like macro photography of actual ants and stuff that uses that really well. If you ever watch like a documentary about ants, like it is kind of creepy and
Yeah.
like they are kind of amazing, like how much they can lift,
Yeah.
and how much like a team they are.
They're like a one mind hive type thing, you know. Not really, but I mean it seems that way. And like how they're such survivors, you know, like you're never going to hear about ants going extinct, you know. They know how to survive. So they're pretty smart.
I can't this is too hard.
It's too cool.
But then
it's too cool anyways.
it houses the booklet.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I
You can't have that booklet just flopping in the breeze, you know.
Yeah. So the movie's totally unique, and it's really smart the way it actually, in the way that great science fiction is, in terms of you take that premise. What if ants became super smart and they wanted to take over humanity? How would they actually do it?
Yeah. And think about how outnumbered we are too. Like there's probably I don't think even a scientist could predict how many ants there are on the earth. In there trillions upon trillions maybe. So what if just imagine if they all did become super smart and we're like, fuck these people, we're going to take over, you know. I think that's a cool concept.
Yeah, and there's a scene where the ants communicate. Basically, it's two scientists that are an outpost somewhere in the desert, and they're sort of investigating these phenomena that are happening. and there's stuff where like the ants communicate to them with Morse code,
That's
and
cool.
they have to decipher. And there's a really creepy thing where there's like a map they create from whatever the ants are sending, and they're trying to figure out what the hell this map means. Yeah,
World domination.
yeah, it's the smartest possible ant attack movie of all time. You could not make a smarter ant attack movie than
Yeah, because
this.
usually back then it was just like nuclear irradiation, and they just became bigger and therefore, you know, unstoppable. But they weren't smarter or anything, or they were just big.
So
Big,
the
big
people who
bugs.
shelled out for Crazy Fat Alpha 2 didn't think this is a good movie.
Yeah, every mention I've seen of it, because I watched Vinegar Syndrome fans on YouTube. None of them like this movie at all.
Wow, I'll have to watch it.
And I guess if you don't like science fiction, other than like cheesy B science fiction or Star Wars, you might not like this movie. I sort of get that, but
You don't get
I
the
don't
hate.
know. Yeah,
The joke is, it doesn't matter if they like it; they still have to buy it.
yeah. But even like
We'll see.
if you were expecting, there's a movie called Empire of the Ants, which is this stupid ant attack movie.
Yep.
Like I
From
would
what,
be
the 50s
pleasantly
or whatever.
surprised. I would have low expectations and then be pleasantly surprised if I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, the same here. Like if I would just expect this another giant ant attack movie or whatever, not anything smart.
Yeah, and that's the wild thing is they're regular ants physically. It's just that they become super intelligent, and that's what makes them dangerous.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
And then it's the only movie directed by Saul Bass. I don't know if you know who Saul Bass is.
I want
No.
to say it sounds familiar, but I think I'm thinking of that guy from Seinfeld.
No, he wasn't on Seinfeld.
No, I know. There was like there was a Seinfeld episode where like Kramer meets this guy in the sauna or whatever, and he's like, "What's your name?" I could have sworn he says Saul Bass, but it might have been something else.
He's probably the most famous opening credit designer ever. He designed the opening credits for Psycho, for Vertigo, for North by Northwest, several of the Bond movies.
Wow.
I can look up like
Talk about a position that kind of gets overlooked, you know, guys like this.
well, that's sort of a lost art. Like, when was the
Yeah.
last like opening credits where you were like, holy shit?
I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of a really good opening credits, either scene or whatever visual style.
Yeah, he did the opening credits for Goodfellas, for Big, It's a Mad, 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 Mad World,
Wow.
West Side Story,
Wow.
Spartacus, the original Ocean's 11,
Damn.
Anatomy of a Murder, million other things.
He's a master of his craft.
Yeah. So he directed one movie, and yeah, it's visually very unique. And yeah, and it's also the Lynn Frederick is in it, who I think is one of the most beautiful actresses ever. But she didn't do that much.
Right.
She was an actress in the 70s, British actress, and then she married Peter Sellers and then drunk herself to death.
Oh shit. Whew.
So rewatching Phase 4, I'm kind of interested in finding out or finding some of the other stuff that she's done. So I got a VHS tape of Prisoner of Zenda. And I haven't watched it yet, but it's a comedy with starring Peter Sellers and with Lynn Frederick. So this might have been where they met. I'm not really sure, but it's late
That'd be cool.
70s.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But yeah, Phase 4.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna check that out.
I'm not. It sounds dumb.
Yeah, that sounds like
No
shit.
Annie Lee's eyes, as you said.
Yeah.
I would check it out, but ants are gay.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Fucking ants.
Fuck. Yeah.
You know, you stop an ant, you just fucking step on that little bastard.
Smart movies are gay.
Yeah. I don't care about that shit.
You guys seen? I think it's called King of the Ants. Stuart Gordon.
I
Yeah.
have that movie. I remember you telling me it was really good, and I still haven't
Yeah.
seen it.
It is really good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's based on a novel. I got the novel, and the novel sucks. It's one of those weird, one of those like
The movie's better,
Stuart Gordon
man.
took the story and made something out of it. The novel is not good.
Watch Scott's one of the. He's the opposite. The fucking movie's better, dude. I don't know what that book is.
I'm never that guy, but I was on this one. I was so excited to read this book, and I was like, no.
It is incredible. If you're a reader, yeah, it's incredibly fucking rare when the movie even touches the book.
Yeah.
Even comes close to it, you know.
Yeah, Lynn Frederick stars in Schizo, which is pretty good. Which is a British kind of psycho type thriller from the 70s. That's might be her only starring role, or one of the few, at least movie wise. And she did British television. Yeah. Oh yeah. Psycho is the classic example where people say the movie is better than the book.
Yeah.
And I would agree.
I haven't read the book, but I have heard people say that.
Psycho 2, the book, is pretty interesting. I don't know. Yeah, it's not at all Psycho 2, the movie.
How many Psycho books did he write originally? I always just thought there was one. I didn't know there was more than one.
Robert Bloch definitely wrote Psycho 2. I think he wrote another one.
Okay.
I think it was called Psycho House or something. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank though. That might have been it.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't follow the movies at all. It's a whole different thing going on.
Oh. Yeah, but it's sort of yeah. I only know about the first book. That's the one I've read.
So it sounds like Hitchcock was like. It sounds like Hitchcock probably read the book and was like, I think I can do something better with this type of thing.
Yeah. Definitely inspiration to do something else, right?
Yeah. Like I like the concept, but I'm gonna do something different.
Yeah, James brought up The Shining as I can see people saying the movie's better. I don't know.
They are very different. I mean, I haven't read The Shining, but I've watched a lot of stuff, and from what I've gathered, they're way different from each other.
It is funny hearing how vehemently Stephen King hates that movie.
Yeah, to this day, I'm pretty sure he still says he hates it.
Such a personal story to him, and he felt like, the movie did not reflect that, and it didn't. But
okay,
but
it's an awesome movie. I guess he was probably just upset that it didn't go the same way he wrote it.
Right.
Which I guess I get that. If you wrote something that you're super proud of, and someone comes out and like makes a movie and they change things, and they might change things where you're like, those were the most proud parts, for me. I get it. Well,
he fixed it because he got Mick Garris to do it, and that's the version we all prefer now. So
yeah,
the definitive. Get Stanley Kubrick, that hack, out of the picture.
Get the guy from Wings and get me Mick Garris, and let's do it right.
Yeah.
I do want to one day watch that version of the movie. Or
I haven't seen it.
The miniseries version.
I'm shit talking it. I'm just guessing.
Obviously, it's not going to be nowhere near as good, but hey, I'll watch it.
Not a chance.
Mick Garris is a cool guy, but he's not always a great filmmaker, I don't think.
He's what I would call a workman-like filmmaker.
Yeah.
He can make
super cool guy.
A professional movie that you can show and not be too embarrassed of.
Yeah.
he's not gonna crank out The Shining.
No, he's not the same on that level of Kubrick.
Yeah.
Cool guy. Once again.
That'd be a question, a Mick Garris movie that I've seen that I like.
Yeah, I was gonna say
if such a thing exists.
Yeah,
there's gotta be one, right?
Probably, I honestly don't think he's probably done anything that you probably would just at least be like, yeah, that's solid, that's decent.
Did he do Sleepwalkers? Was that him?
Yeah, I think so. Wait, I think so. Stephen King.
What? I fucking.
It would feel like him. That kind of weird, cheesy stuff. Yeah, yep, you're right. I thought so.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah. I like Sleepwalkers. It's a weird movie, but I like
I
it.
like it, but I probably it's not good. But I like
It's
it.
not good. Yeah, I don't think it's a good movie, but it's fun. I like it. It's fun.
It's fun. It's got my girl from Twin Peaks in it.
Yeah,
That's all I needed.
it's weird.
What? Is that Machin Amick? And then is it about like
Cat people.
cat people?
Mhm.
Okay, I think I've
It's
seen
like a
that.
werewolf movie with cats instead, but weird, more weird than in typical werewolf stories.
He did Critters 2, and
Yeah,
I don't
All right,
remember.
that's solid.
yeah. Critters 2 is actually not bad. I like it. Everything after that though is bad.
So the first Psycho movie I ever saw was the let's see what channel it was. Doesn't say.
Psycho 4.
Psycho 4, but like it debuted on TV, did it not?
It
I think
did.
it was like USA or something.
Yeah. So that was it debuted on USA, and I was a kid, and I think I watched 20 minutes of it and I turned it off.
That's the one Psycho movie I still haven't seen, but I've actually heard a lot of people say it's not bad.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it that much. I finally actually watched the whole thing.
Okay.
I didn't see The Stand or The
I didn't either.
Shining.
I love the book. The Stand. The book is cool.
Like, what were the Masters of Horror things that he did?
He did the second Stand, right? Not that first miniseries. Maybe he did. I don't know.
Shit, I can't remember. I don't remember. Were there two
I thought
Stand?
they redid the
series?
Stand like years later.
Oh, you're probably right. Yeah, Masters of Horror, Mick Garris. I feel like I have the one he did. I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember it, which tells you a lot.
That's true. That is true.
I know he did episodes, but I don't remember what they were.
That's true. Yeah, because the good one, the ones you really like, you still kind of remember.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up right now. He did.
Oh, Chocolate. Is that the one? It's like Eyes of Laura Mars.
I don't remember that actually.
Oh yeah, fuck that one. That one sucked.
No, I actually don't think I saw that.
Oh yeah, so that wasn't very good. The Henry Thomas. Is that what I'm thinking of?
Okay, Mick Garris did the 1994 Stand miniseries, not the newer one.
Oh, okay. That's the one I think I've seen or seen parts of.
Yeah, Peeping Tom is amazing.
Oh,
Well,
he directed Peeping Tom?
No, Michael Powell directed
Okay.
Peeping Tom, but
Okay.
no, because I don't think he was even born yet.
I haven't seen Peeping Tom. I just know it. Yeah, it's an old movie.
No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at James's comment. Dario Argento did Jennifer, the Master Horror episode.
Jennifer's good.
Yeah, that's the one with what's his face as the lead.
Yeah. Well, what was that
Wings
guy's
guy.
name?
The Wings guy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of my favorites.
It's like I would say a version of an erotic thriller.
Yeah. Erotic thriller meets total horror, I guess. Like not cannibal horror, but kind of close.
What was the other one that Argento did?
Oh, Imprint.
Pelts.
No, that's Takashi Miike.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't it Pelts?
Yeah.
Felt. Yeah. That's right. Pelt.
Bringing it back to the opera 4K. Oh, what's his face? Troy Howarth, who's a writer. I used to interact with him a little bit on the DVD Maniacs forum 20 years ago. But he's like an expert on Italian horror and British horror. And he has a commentary on opera, one of the 3 commentaries. and he has one of the hottest hot takes I've ever heard in my life. Where he said that I believe I heard him say that Dario Argento's episode of Pelts is his masterpiece.
Wow. I'm not sure I've even seen it, to be honest. That's the one with Meatloaf, right?
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
one. The episode of his that I thought was bad, and then Jennifer was decent.
Right. I'll have to watch that with fresh eyes. That's
So,
certainly the hot take.
wow. That is fiery hot.
That is very spicy. Like I've kind of been going back and sampling here and there. Like I knew I liked Cigarette Burns, the John Carpenter one, and then I was like, he did another one, right? And I went and watched that one, and that's fucking embarrassing.
What was the other?
Right to Life, I think.
I don't even remember. Oh,
In the abortion clinic, and Ron Perlman's the angry dad trying to break in to get his daughter.
Okay, yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, real bad.
Yeah, that series was a mixed bag, but there were some good ones.
There were, yeah.
I'm trying to remember like what would be my favorite. It might be Cigarette Burns.
It probably is.
The only thing that was shitty about that was when you actually see the movie they're looking for, it looks like a Marilyn Manson video or something.
Yeah. Great. This is great content for the show because I don't remember the name of the freaking movie, but it was another of these movies about a cursed movie, and the same thing. Like it was kind of cool until you actually saw the cursed movie, and they're like, "Oh, you should have just not shown it."
Yeah, because we talked about that movie, the Canadian movie Red Rooms, where they talk about these snuff films and they just tell what happens in it, and then you hear screaming.
Right. Yeah, that was the way to go.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Well, I'll just show a cool box set quick while we're waiting for Eli. The Twin Peaks, The Empire Mystery.
Yeah. Is that the British set?
No, it came out here, but
let me check the one that I have. I think mine's an import version.
Okay. I left the frickin' there's like the advertising flap on the back that tells what's in it, and I don't like to lose those, so I have it kind of just hanging on there. But anyway, opens up like this, and then cool. Every disc is like in its own little sleeve. Well, you got pictures, and then it tells what's.
That's awesome.
What's going on with my lighting? It's very terrible today, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't
know.
So
it's got the original series, not the Showtime series, but the original 2 seasons, and then the Fire Walk with Me movie and the big thing of this was the 90 minutes of deleted scenes from the movie that we thought we'd never see because it was Canal Plus financed it and they kind of owned it and they weren't interested in releasing it. So these were rumored since the movie was made, since the 92, 3. But finally came out and we got to see them. So
when did that come out?
Let's see.
I wonder if it's even still available.
2014.
Oh shit. Not good.
But I think now there's another box that has all this plus the Showtime series.
Oh, okay. I do have that. I have the Showtime series. I still need to watch it. That last season. I heard it's pretty good.
It's infuriating but very good.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have it. I still need to watch it. It's one of those things where it's like it's a big project to tackle because it's like I love the show so much, so I've been on guard about watching it, even though I've heard plenty of good things, but I'm still in my mind I have a block.
I get it.
I'll watch it. I own it, so I have to watch it.
Yeah, it's David Lynch doing whatever the fuck he wants to do, basically, which I approve of.
Yeah. So how is yours different, Tom?
It's British. I don't know
Okay.
why I have the British version. Maybe there was a reason that it has the.
Oh, and it's more like, okay. So it doesn't open up. It doesn't open up like this one does here.
Hold on.
But the lid comes
No,
up on this one.
no, it's just
Okay.
like this, and it has Fire Walk with Me,
Yeah, mine does too.
and the 90 minutes of deleted scenes in the first 2 seasons. But it's just like a regular case with a bunch
Oh,
of
like yours is like the ham and egger version. Mine's the good version.
I guess.
Typical. Yeah, it is British after all. So
Yeah,
it's
British.
I don't know.
Typical.
I don't know why I
Slightly.
would have gotten the British version as opposed to the American version.
Yeah, there had to have been a reason at the time when you ordered it.
I mean, based on the packaging difference, it might have been considerably cheaper. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that version was out of print, and then this one was
Yeah.
in print or something.
Yeah, I bet that's the case.
Yeah, and then this is the.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I need that, or I need the set you guys have. Almost, I guess I would only really need it for that deleted stuff, but I could probably just download that or something off
I
SoulSpeak
think
or whatever.
did Criterion re-release it with the deleted stuff? I feel like they did. The movie.
The Firewalk with Me, yeah, they might have.
I think they did.
Yeah, I think so.
So I would just probably need to buy that then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would, and now I think Fire Walk with Me is my favorite David Lynch movie.
It's really
Yeah.
good.
And the funny thing is, I'm trying to think. Well, especially when I worked in a video store, people always bitch about Fire Walk with Me.
Really? They didn't like it?
Yeah, they would go like, "Yeah, I'm watching David Lynch movies, but not Fire Walk with Me. That is horrible." Or
Really?
something.
That doesn't
Yeah,
make any
I would
sense.
hear how people would complain about how horrible Fire Walk with Me was.
I wonder if they were disappointed with it because they were a fan of Twin Peaks, or just if they were just a fan of David Lynch. I mean, I guess you would have to be a fan of the show to watch that, right? I don't
You
know if
would
there
think
were
so.
people watching
Yeah,
it.
I
that weren't.
assume people thought, okay, it's just going to be just like the show,
Yeah,
and then
and it's a lot
I've
different.
usually I've heard people just shit on Fire Walk with Me for some reason.
What that makes sense. I mean, honestly, to this day, I don't hardly ever hear anyone talk about Fire Walk with Me. You know, even if they talk about the show, people almost never really go into the movie.
Yeah, as far as pop culture was concerned, it was
Yeah.
that first short season, and then like the first episode of season 2, and then nobody gave a fuck after that.
Yeah. R.I.P. David Lynch, though. So what a bummer. What a loss.
I still every once in a while think I need to rewatch Inland Empire, but it's so daunting. I never do. I've only ever seen it once.
You need to rewatch it then, at least one time. You might not watch it again, but like at least watch it one more time. But I understand that it's not an easy movie to watch on any level.
Yeah, I've just seen it once. I have it on DVD though.
I've also only seen it once, but I also want to watch it again. But I was kind of late to that one though, so you guys probably saw it decades ago or whatever.
It's one of those I know I need to watch in the spirit of stop trying to figure it out, just watch it.
Yeah,
I think I would get more out of it.
You might, maybe yeah. That's a thought. Just let it kind of turn, if you can. It's hard to sometimes turn your brain off when you watch a movie, but if you can do it, it's kind of effective.
Well, I know he kind of in the little documentary part, it kind of pissed me off a little bit because he said the stuff with the Polish actors, he was just in Poland like taking pictures for some photography book he was doing, and then he met all these actors, and he's like, hey, let's film some stuff. And then he put it in the movie. And I was like, oh, so you don't know what it means either. I'm sitting here trying to figure out how this connects, and it's like, oh, it doesn't.
Okay. That's interesting.
But yeah, I would definitely take more of him, even as most infuriating than
Yeah.
whatever just by the numbers.
David Lynch is like one of those people where you're like, I'm not even really convinced he's like from this planet, like when you watch interviews with him and stuff, you're like, he's not a regular person, he's like, he's just kind of, he seemed to exist in his own reality, and it just seemed cool to me.
Have you ever seen the On the Air series where he did a pilot for another series after Twin Peaks?
I didn't see that.
I saw Sloppy Seconds DVD has it. I've almost bought it a couple times.
Yeah, I have a copy of it somewhere. It's sort of like him doing WKRP in Cincinnati, the David Lynch version.
That was a great show.
So it's not great, but it's definitely worth seeing. And there's like, have you seen Dumbland?
No.
The animated series he did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was the one he was like selling it on his website, right?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, Dumbland is awesome, but I think most people are going to hate it.
I assume it's hard to find because I don't think I've ever seen a copy of it anywhere.
Yeah, I have a copy of it because he used to sell it on his website, and I think that's where I initially bought it.
Damn, that's cool.
Yeah, it's just like, it's hard to explain, but it's like it's like a rough cartoon of people screaming at each other is mostly what it is.
I guess I'm a little more curious now. See how that plays out.
It almost reminds me of Freddy Got Fingered in the sense that scenes where people are just screaming.
So most of Freddy Got Fingered,
but like a rough animated version of just the screaming parts of. I don't know why it reminded me of that.
Sounds just like pure chaos, kind of very chaotic.
Yeah. But I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Well, I have more movies, of course.
What do you got?
I can show this off. This is another movie that only ever came out in VHS. It has a really cool cover, I think. And it's called Tainted Blood.
Ooh. You got that recently?
No, I've had this for a long time.
Oh, okay.
I just bought it because of the cover.
That's a cool cover.
But it's kind of like it was made for USA Network and 1993, and it's kind of like it reminds me of like a Lifetime movie. But basically it's like this kid murders his entire family and then himself. I guess maybe it's a little darker than.
Yeah, that's not dark at all.
It reminds me of like if you ever watched the Lifetime Movie Network and stuff they would show on there.
I have.
Like I'm gonna murder my wife or something will be.
There's always some domestic dispute.
Yeah. So it's basically what's her name? Raquel Welch is like an investigative journalist, and apparently that kid had an adopted sister that also has like a gene that makes people kill their entire family. So apparently that's the
family killing gene.
Yeah. So she's trying to find who this adopted sister is in time before she murders her entire family.
That ain't bad. It's good.
And,
that's a solid premise.
And then it's Carrie Green, who's the daughter in Uncle Buck and the cheerleader in the Goonies.
Oh shit.
Okay.
She's adopted, and she's super angsty, and her name is Tori. And I'll show you and but I rewatched this maybe a month ago, and I just love how early '90s the movie is. That's probably the best aspect of it, and I actually took a few pictures of it. Oh, hold on. So, like, in terms of her room, so she
Oh.
has like a Sonic Youth poster. And she's a angsty redhead named Tori. So I'm a huge Tori Amos fan. So not everybody knows, but so in the movie they're constantly referring to Tori because Tori had a bad day at school, Tori this, Tori that, and then at one point she says that she's super into grunge metal.
Grunge metal.
Yeah.
But
What would that be? What even is that?
But I don't think the movie even knows what that is.
Yeah, probably not.
This is her room. And then she has a Jackal poster.
Oh man, they're the biggest grunge metal band of all time.
Jackal poster. Oh man, the '90s hair metal band that nobody asked for.
I saw them open for Nugent. Are you jealous?
Nope.
Well, that's like you're in Michigan. That's like
Yeah, I was going to say that too. I think to if you're a Michigander, you have to be a Nugent fan, or else you get kicked out of the state.
Oh yeah, he did a yearly. He did a yearly end of year Michigan tour in the '90s. So.
Eli, I was going to say the exact same thing. That's amazing.
You guys don't have to stand by his political views. You just have to.
No, we choose to do that. We don't have to.
Yeah, there's
Uncle Ted.
A comedian who has a podcast named Jimmy Pardo, and whenever Ted Nugent comes up, he goes, "Man, I can't stand that guy's songs, but boy, his politics are amazing."
He's right.
And then so her brother like sneaks in her room to check out her diary, and then later in the movie she just punches him in the face, and he starts crying like a little bitch.
Damn, Tori's a bad bitch.
But her neighbor is also adopted, and she's played by Natasha Gregson Wagner.
Oh yeah,
if you remember her.
Yep.
I remember the name, or at least I think I do.
You would recognize her. She's in a bunch of stuff. She's not Natalie Wood's daughter.
In real life, Natalie Wood's daughter?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In the real world.
I didn't know that either.
But basically, just the entire plot is Raquel Welch is trying to find this information of who the adopted daughter is. And you have two adopted teenagers, and one's angsty and violent, and the other one is nice and polite. So I want to ask you, Eli, which one do you think turns out to be the potential murderer?
I mean, obviously, I'm going to have to go with the less expected polite girl.
Yes, you figured it out. Fuck.
Sounds like I've seen a few '90s movies after all. James just says she was in High Fidelity, I think. Is that what? I love High Fidelity. That's a fucking great movie. Big fan of that one.
Yeah, and Carrie Green was also in Lucas.
Wait, who does she play in High Fidelity?
She's one of just isn't she a writer that interviews John Cusack?
Oh, okay.
Let me see.
Yeah, I love High Fidelity. It's great.
Am I crazy in thinking there was a character that's interviewing?
I remember him being interviewed by somebody, but is that the girl that he ends up dating, or is that someone else?
Yeah, and I think he ends up dating her. Like she.
Okay.
Fuck! It's been forever since I've seen this.
I watched it somewhat recently. I think I might. Oh, is she? Here
she's in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Urban Legend.
Does she have the braided hair?
Highway.
Oh, I'm thinking of. Is she the one with is she black?
She's not black.
Oh, okay, I was thinking of the girl.
Natalie Wood's daughter.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking of the girl that he ends up dating for not too long, but the one that comes in and she's the cool girl and he
If you
dates
made the
her for...
'90s into a girl, it's her. That's how I think of her.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that movie. I think it's so good. One of the few times like Jack Black actually shines, you know.
Oh, sorry, I'm catching up.
Yeah, so I was right. She comes to the store to interview John Cusack.
Yeah, okay.
So I can show you a still. Hold on.
And James said she was in Lost Highway too, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, big fan of that movie too.
Yeah, she was the girlfriend of. I can't think of his name. The younger guy.
Yeah. Yeah. What's his name? Bill Pullman.
No, the other one.
Oh, the other guy. Yeah. The other. Yeah. Okay. That's her right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
So she comes in to interview.
She's cutie.
Yeah. Two girls and a guy with Heather Graham. That's a really good one.
I love Heather Graham. I'll watch anything with Heather Graham. Anything.
Yeah, and Robert Downey Jr. Million other movies. So this movie's not really that good, but it's never came out past VHS.
I really thought when you were describing it that it would turn out that Raquel Welch was the adopted sister. That's what I thought the twist was. She's investigating and then finds out it's her.
No, there's two options. So there's the angsty girl that has anger issues named Tori, and then the nice quiet neighbor girl. They're both adopted, and one of them has a gene that will make them kill their entire family. And then that's the movie, basically.
James got it. Balthazar Getty. I couldn't think of it.
Seems like James is accusing him of being a douchebag as well.
Maybe.
According to David Lynch, which might not. Who knows what that means? I feel like David Lynch would be an easy guy to rub the wrong way. But
you know what? In the same way, I think Stranglehold's an awesome song. I don't care. Lost Highway is a good movie. Balthazar Getty can be a dick. It doesn't matter to me.
Stranglehold
he's not my friend.
No. I assumed he was, but okay. I assumed you guys were neighbors. You're hunting buddies.
Yeah, he just left actually.
We were just sawing heads off random animals that we killed.
Man, sorry, Ted. I got to do a show with these libtards.
Don't worry, I'm going to try to get him deported to Nicaragua or whatever. That's my whole plan. Bunch of cucks.
Libtard cuck.
Cucktards. Cucktard libs. You just got to put words together, and that's
there are people that use that term and they think they're being scientific and smart.
Yeah, they're really owning you.
I feel so owned by these intellectual giants.
Eli, did you see 28 Years Later?
Oh yeah, shit. Yeah, I saw it a couple days last Thursday. Are you guys fans of that franchise or? Yeah,
I liked the first one. I didn't remember the second one, so I rewatched it, and I was watching it. I was like, "This is really good. What the hell's my problem?" And then it kind of fell apart.
Okay.
And I saw why I didn't like it. And I've heard similar things about the new one, so I didn't know what you thought of it.
Yeah, I actually overlooked the second one. I have it on DVD here somewhere. I need to actually watch it. But I do like the first one. I like Danny Boyle. I would say like it's I don't want to say disappointing, but it's if you're expecting like it's been so long, and if you're expecting something that like is gonna elevate the series, it's probably not gonna do that. But like it also is part of a trilogy, so I keep telling myself to like it is good, but it's not great. But I also feel like it is only really the start of a new story. So like I feel like as long as the other two are slightly better, then I feel like they will kind of prop this one up.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like
definitely worth watching. It's I'm not saying skip it by any means.
Okay. Yeah, it was like, yeah, I was really enjoying the second one, and then like when it became like
It fell apart.
the zombie villain, I was like, that keeps popping up. I was like, come on,
Oh, okay.
it's a little too, I don't know, a little too convenient. To have like a main villain and have it be the zombie, like what? I mean, I don't know. That lost me.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's
yeah.
like the zombie threat is the faceless horde.
Yeah.
Not this one guy keeps popping up and.
What did they call it? Since I haven't seen that, did they call him that zombie? Was he an alpha?
No.
Okay, because in 28 years later, they have I won't throw too many spoilers out there, but obviously it's so much later after the outbreak, so it you get to see like some of the zombies are starting to like evolve.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's nothing like that. This is the guy. I mean, I won't. It's a 20-year-old movie, but whatever. I won't be a dick and spoil it. But basically, it's the person who starts this second outbreak.
Okay.
But he has like personal connections to some of our main characters, so he's always the one popping up, like, I'm gonna get you.
They kind of do that. They kind of do that in this one too, but it's I think a little different. But they kind of do that. There's some good like there's a really good Ray Fiennes performance. He's really great, like as he always is. You have the main character of the movie turns out to be like a little kid, and he's really good. It's kind of like a coming of age story. It's about like this like 11-year-old kid like becoming a man, which is something that you wouldn't do in our society, but in that society it's a little different. So it's about him like kind of taking matters into his own hands. And I actually really liked him. Like kid actors are always hit and miss, but I think he's great. I think he's a very, very good actor, and he really he kind of carries the movie, believe it or not. But he is also, it's kind of a bold move, I thought, for Danny Boyle to be like, I'm going to make my new protagonist is going to be an 11-year-old kid, So it's a cool change of pace. But definitely not as good as that first movie. But that doesn't mean it can't be good.
Halfway through rewatching 28 Weeks Later, was like, I was all fired up. I was like, I'm going to go see the new movie tomorrow. And then I was like, at the end, I was like, maybe not.
It fizzled out. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna try to watch that this weekend because it's just stupid that I haven't seen it yet. But whatever.
Yeah, sorry, I want to check it out.
Yeah.
The last movie I saw in the theaters, and this is I think you said, Eli, that you had just seen this as well, and that would be the new Wes Anderson movie, The Phoenician Scheme.
Yeah, I just saw it a couple days ago. I was not a huge fan. How about you?
No, I wasn't a huge fan either. I'm kind of torn about it, but you said you were going to do a review on your channel, so do you want to save it for that, and I can just tell you my thoughts?
Yeah.
I think it's one of his funniest movies. I love that scene with Tom Hanks and what's his face, Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, Bryan Cranston. That was a great scene. Yeah. Great.
So basically,
scene.
he's trying to get financing from Tom Hanks and Bryan Cranston. So they're like,
yeah.
They they're like, or you have to beat us in basketball. And then Bryan Cranston like takes it way too seriously, where he's trash talking and stuff.
And then the one of the guys on the other team doesn't even know what basketball is because he's from like the Middle East or whatever. He's like,
Yeah, so it's like
I
the
don't
kid
know how this
the
game
kid
even works.
the kid has no idea how to play basketball, and Bryan Cranston is a badass like a YMCA.
Fucking just sinking every shot and
Yeah,
sinking all these
badass.
3-pointers.
All of a sudden, like there's a lot of really funny shit.
Yeah, totally.
I
The part where what was it, Cranston or Tom Hanks, where like he slaps the other one on the ass after he makes a really good shot. He
Yeah.
gives him a big pat on the butt.
I think the problem is like, and this is so oh god, Benicio del Toro's character. So they're
Yeah.
trying this thing where he's like periodically imagine he's in heaven.
Oh, his little dream sequences.
Yeah, where
Yeah.
he gets knocked out, and it's sort of like he's thinking about death and near death, and he's sort of like a really funny scumbag character.
Yeah, like a parody type character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and so basically he's trying to pull off this scheme, which is like financing like a slave trade thing.
That's right, the
Um,
slavery thing.
the idea that he's gonna leave the money to his daughter, who's a nun, played by Kate Winslet's daughter,
I like her.
and yeah, and they
She's
mention
yeah, she's great.
like, but yeah, because I was watching it and I'm like, I have no idea who this actress is. Like,
I didn't either. I didn't know. Yeah, previous
wh-
to this, I
why
didn't know.
why is she all of a sudden co-starring in a Wes Anderson movie?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I watched a review, and then they said starring Kate Winslet's
Nepotism.
daughter. Like, oh, but she's actually pretty good.
I liked her. Yeah, I thought she really worked in that Wes Anderson universe. She had the dry British thing. She had it going.
But he's constantly, people are trying to assassinate him. But
he's like unkillable.
yeah, but the thing is, it's so just played for goofy laughs.
Yeah.
To me, there was just no weight. I mean, even for not that Wes Anderson's a weighty director by any stretch,
Right.
but even for him,
it seems surface level.
It seems so surface level that
Yeah.
he's, his dying wish is to do something good and leave this money to his daughter. So he's going on this escapade and almost dying multiple times.
I do love the part where they're like, how many plane crashes has he survived? Like 6. He survived 6 plane crashes or something.
Yeah, and and again, like with a lot of Wes Anderson movies, like the detail and the set design is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But like to me, the problem is there's just no weight to the Benicio del Toro journey, like this sort of like redeeming journey.
Yeah,
and that's a big problem, because that's really what the movie is about, at least what it seemed like to me.
Yeah, I think so too.
But I mean, that's a huge problem. But other than that, I really liked it.
Yeah, apparently it's kind of bombing in the theaters too. Like I guess it's his worst performing movie, at least on the first like opening weekend or whatever. But that doesn't. I don't know what that might mean, but
and it had to have cost a decent amount of money.
I would imagine so. Yeah, I think last time I checked, I think it made its money back and then a little bit on top of that, but. Yeah, not a big success financially, but a lot of Wes Anderson's movies are not like huge blockbusters. You know what I mean? Like the numbers that they bring in, they're not huge. His movies are like a very niche thing, and it's like he's a big director, but he's not like he doesn't pull in million or he doesn't pull in like he doesn't do $1 billion movies or anything. Like he's not ever gonna hit those numbers that Hollywood likes.
I saw the trailer for this before Friendship, and within the first 3 seconds, I was like, "Oh, they're doing a Wes Anderson parody."
It does feel that way, kind of.
Kept going, and I was like, "Wait a minute! I think this might." No, this isn't his new movie, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. I get it, man. I get there. He's got a aesthetic that people respond to. It's never done anything for me. Like I like Life Aquatic, kind of.
Yeah, you're not
I
alone.
didn't
There's a
love
lot
it,
of
but I
people.
kind of liked it. The other ones I've watched, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. It's not for me.
Yeah, you're not alone. I have friends that are like huge movie fans and aren't. It's just that I feel like with Wes Anderson, it's a thing like you just like or you don't, and if you don't like it, that doesn't mean you have shit taste.
Yeah, I think there's not going to be any convincing me that he is what he is, and I'm not into it.
Yeah.
Well, you are definitely not going to like this movie because this is like movie made. It's almost feels like it was made to piss off Wes Anderson haters. And generally, I'm a fan. But I haven't seen French Dispatch or the Isle of Dogs, or whatever that is.
It's really good. Isle of Dogs is awesome. I haven't seen French Dispatch is one of the few I haven't seen.
I think I've seen everything else, and
Yeah.
I really like most of his movies.
Me
I would
too.
say this and Darjeeling Limited are the ones that I'm sort of, and even I'm not a big fan of Bottle Rocket, actually.
You should rewatch Darjeeling Limited because I don't know, when was the last time you watched it?
Whenever it came out on DVD.
Okay, same here. And yeah, when I saw it the first time, I don't know what it was, but I just kind of let it wash over me. But I watched it like last year, and I thought it was one of his best movies. It like rose up like 5 notches in my book, and I was like, what the hell was I missing? Because this is phenomenal.
Yeah, I would say Asteroid City. I did prefer it to Phoenician Scheme.
Me too. Yeah.
But again, the only thing that I thought was annoying is like sort of the Russian nesting doll structure of it was a little too far, because it's like so it's basically a city based around where they view, or they had a UFO supposed visit, but then it's like a writer writing a story
Yeah.
and a play about the writer writing a story and then a documentary.
It's confusing at first. I could when I first saw it, I was like, what is happening?
So Scott, have you seen this movie, Asteroid City?
No.
This is like you would shoot yourself.
Does that mean? Did I say that in a mean way? No.
You would shoot yourself in the theater if you were. This is like this super quirky town revolving around this UFO sighting,
like a Roswell type.
Yeah, it's like Wes Anderson's version of Roswell.
Yeah, quirky,
like a tourist town.
Quirky Roswell.
but there's a layer to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a writer writing a story about this town. It's not actually just a movie about the town.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another layer. It's a play about a writer writing a story about the town.
Okay.
But
yeah,
no,
I've seen clips.
I'm not, whoa. I'm not
one more layer.
More layers. I'm sorry.
Yeah, hold on. No, it's a documentary about the play about the writer writing a story about the town.
And it sounds like you're intentionally trying to piss people off, but you're not.
I'm kind of angry. Just hearing about it.
It sounds like Tom's trying to tell people not to ever watch it, which.
But
he's not saying that. But
I think if you just left it at the writer is writing a story, and then he's working like his personal feelings and like his relationship with his dad into the story, I don't see what the other two things does.
I didn't either. It's like layers upon layers, but you didn't need the extra layers,
I saw maybe the trailer, some kind of clip or scene with that looked like they're on sets, and I didn't understand why. And then I realized, I don't care, so I didn't look into it anymore.
Well, if we didn't just tell you a bunch about it, if you were to watch it, you'd have the same feeling. I don't understand why this is happening, or you. I couldn't. Tom, was that hard for you to wrap your head around? Because for me, it was kind of hard when I watched it the first time. I'll admit I had to watch it twice.
I didn't rewatch it, but it was kind of hard to follow. But then
I was like, am I stupid? 'Cause I had to watch it twice. But yeah, it makes sense now. But at first I thought it was jarring.
yeah, the movie, because I don't think they came out far uh, from each other in terms of time, but it did remind me of Nope, Asteroid City,
Yeah, that's a good point. I had a hard time wrapping my head around that one too at first.
which, well, not in terms of that
Not like
necessarily,
that, but
but
yeah,
just in terms
yeah,
of like the story is kind of similar in a way.
yeah, it
But
is.
Nope is like more of a horror-y,
Yeah, that's a good point. I never really
Spielberg-y
connected the two
take,
of those. Yeah,
but it's sort of a similar thing where
it
it's
is.
like uh, the sort of town is constructed around this UFO sighting uh, type of thing.
I need to. That's Nope is another movie I've been meaning to rewatch because I'm a huge fan of what Jordan Peele's been doing since he's been directing, and that's probably my least favorite of the three. But I do need to watch it again because I might like it. I liked it, but I might like it substantially more on the second watch.
James
Yeah.
James mentioned that it. Which movie was that? Asteroid City. Reminded
Mhm.
him of Synecdoche, New York, the Charlie Kaufman movie, which I do like a lot. I like his brand of weirdness. It's just I think it's just
Yeah, to me, it makes it it works in Synecdoche, New York,
Okay.
where it is the, um I mean, difficult way it would be difficult to me to explain why,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
to me, it's like, I don't know, it works in that movie, and then in Asteroid City, it seemed kinda pointless.
Okay.
Um,
Another thing that threw me off with Phoenician Scheme was, and it's not a bad thing, but I guess I got so used to the Wes Anderson universe and his characters and his the actors and stuff, and with Phoenician Scheme, it was quite a change. Like there weren't a lot and it's kind of stupid of me being like, oh, I want the old stuff, but like he kind of ushered in his new cast of characters. Like the oldest one I think was maybe Tom Hanks, which was basically none of these actors go beyond I think maybe Asteroid City. As for the longest time he used his your Bill Murray and Owen Wilson and all that, and almost none of those people are here, which I shouldn't complain about, but I kind of found myself missing that old Wes Anderson crew.
yeah, I thought Michael Cera was actually awesome in this movie.
Yeah, I
And
liked him too. At first I was like, I mean, I don't really like Michael Cera. I like him in Arrested Development, but he was good.
but yeah, but that's the thing, it's like when he comes on screen and he plays his character, you're like, "Eh,"
Yeah,
but then the gag is he's playing a role.
yeah. Yeah. No, he actually at by the end, I think he might have been the best character in the movie, and like very funny,
Yeah.
very funny. He
So
had some great
it
lines.
it it's, it's like the gag where, "Oh, this acting is a little suspect," but then you
Yeah,
find out it's someone pretending to be somebody else.
like a double agent type thing.
Yeah, then you go,
Yeah,
"Oh, that was actually amazing."
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, he was really good. He had some of the funniest jokes in the whole movie, like the part where he's like, "I don't, I'm going to reveal my true self to you," or whatever. It might be a little disturbing. Not that different. From what you see, and it's just like him with a different haircut, and he's smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, I think if someone wants to see the Phoenician Scheme, just to go in expecting a comedy,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
you have to be of the wavelength,
Yes.
because I think it definitely works that way.
It's maybe more slapsticky than previous Wes Anderson stuff, but only at
Yeah, like
times.
the fight scene with Benedict Cumberbatch, was really
He was
funny and
funny too.
slapsticky.
His character was pretty fucking funny. Yeah, the evil brother.
But I'm interested in rewatching it now that I sort
Yeah,
of know what it is.
that's a good point. We might both like it substantially more because a lot of movies are like once you get over the speed bump, you're good with it. Like yeah, so on a second watch, you might like it more once you're over the fact that you're not getting this and that, and oh, I wanted this and I didn't get it. Get over that, and it might be a lot better. Subsequent watches.
Yeah, and the cast is truly insane.
Yeah, all
Do
over
you
the
do you
place.
know, Scott, who's in this movie, The Phoenician Scheme?
just the main players, I guess.
I'll read. We should probably end soon.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to go over 3 hours, but I'll read the cast of the Phoenician Scheme. You know who F. Murray Abraham is?
Oh yeah.
You definitely recognize him. Okay.
Who did he play again? Which character?
He's just in like the heaven scenes.
Oh yeah, he's like with Willem Dafoe and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if he's like an angel or something.
Yeah.
Benicio del Toro, Willem Dafoe, F. Murray Abraham, Michael Cera, like I said. Tom Hanks, Bryan Cranston, Bill Murray, Charlotte Gainsbourg. I'm a big fan of Richard Ayoade, who's like plays like a communist freedom fighter guy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah.
Academy. Did he not win an Academy Award?
I believe he did. He's a great actor.
Yeah, he is. Scarlett Johansson, Hope Davis, and Benedict Cumberbatch.
Jeez.
And Mia Threppleton.
Yeah, and what's her face? Which is what's your
Kate
face?
Winslet's daughter.
Kate Winslet's daughter co-stars.
I'll be honest. She was the one where I was like, before I saw it, I was like looking to single her out. I'm like, she doesn't belong here. You know, she didn't earn her Wes Anderson membership card, and she was really good. She's cute. She's a good actress, which is what matters the most. But yeah, she slid right in. I bet you she'll be in more of his stuff, and I think it'll work. Like she fit the Wes Anderson universe with the
Yeah, I didn't see Lemon, but I saw the trailer.
Me either. Yeah, I didn't see it. But yeah, I guess I didn't include Bill Murray in the when I was talking about the actors, because I named him, but he's only in a scene or two, but I didn't include him in the cast, as far as the main cast.
He plays God.
He plays God.
I think in one scene.
One scene, I think. Yeah. So it's good to see him in there, because he's like the ultimate Wes Anderson actor.
Yeah, but he doesn't do anything interesting.
No, he doesn't need to. He just needs to be there because he's Bill Murray.
You're just supposed to go, oh, Bill Murray,
and
that's it.
That's all it's meant to be. Yeah. I'll end this by saying my favorite Wes Anderson film is The Royal Tenenbaums. That's always going to be my favorite, I think.
It's always been Rushmore. It hasn't changed.
Great.
That was the first one I saw.
Yeah,
that's always been my favorite.
I didn't.
And that was like,
what?
I didn't finish either movie.
Hey, at least you tried. What matters is you gave the effort. Because really, you can't criticize something until you've actually tried to watch it and say this isn't for me.
You didn't like the gag Ben Stiller in Royal Tenenbaums where he's wearing a tracksuit and got the Jufro.
I mean,
and his sons
it was pretty hilarious, but
his sons have matching Jufros and matching tracksuits.
Yeah, I love how his sons are just like he runs his family like a fucking drill sergeant. His sons are like, they're little kids and all they do is work. They're like accountants and stuff. Their whole life is like this rigid structure. They're always constantly exercising and like they're living their lives like.
I'm not shitting on him at all, because I mean, people like you guys that I respect your opinions.
Yeah.
Like him, and a lot of people do, and I feel like it's one of those things I can't connect. I'm missing out, but
yeah,
I've tried and it didn't work, so it's time to move on.
I really do think it's like there's some kind of it's a psychological thing where like some people really just it rubs them the wrong way.
It's kind of repellent, actually.
I've heard people say that.
Looking at this scene of his, like, ew.
Yeah, I say that, like, I can say honestly, like, I'm not sitting here thinking that like, oh, Scott doesn't get it, or he's just not on the right level. Like, That's not what it is.
Well, they're accountants with Jufros, and you're a Burzum fan. We know,
Oh, now I get it. Okay.
we know what this is about.
Yeah, Scott. Why don't you just tell us? Why don't you just come out of the closet?
Uh,
To
I'll
me,
be making a video with Uncle Ted soon. We'll lay it all out.
to
The
me,
Nuge.
to me, you have to find him funny. You have to get with the sense of humor of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That ultimately is it, because it is a very quirky, narcissistic style. I mean, yeah, there's just so much going on with that writing, and then also I think the visual style rubs a lot of people wrong too, which is one of the things that we love most about it, because he has his own universe, is what I like. It's his own. When you watch a Wes Anderson movie, he exists in a different dimension,
I can't think of a film comparison, but there's one of my favorite horror authors, Edward Lee. I wouldn't say he's a good writer. He definitely has his own style and certain things that repeat throughout everything. And if you don't like it, you're gonna hate all his books. But I do like it, so
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like I understand the mindset of you just kind of vibe with what this person is doing.
So it's like one of those things where, like, if you that author you're talking about, there probably aren't people that are like, I like one of his books. It's you
Right.
like them all,
You like them all, or you don't like them at all. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm getting
pretty
the high
much.
time, guys. I got to get out of here. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I would say Bottle Rocket is more of a normal movie.
But that was also his first movie, so he hadn't really, he hadn't really got there yet.
Like an indie dramedy comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, I'm gonna call it in a sec. Thank you everybody for hanging out with us. Our longest show to date. James, Simon, Clay. So I wasn't sure about what to do for next week. I was wondering, have you guys seen the movie Sorcerer, the William Friedkin movie?
I have it.
I have not. I'm not gonna be able to be here next week or the week after.
Okay.
So don't worry about me.
So Eli, you have it, but have you watched it?
No, I haven't seen it yet. I bought it like a couple weeks ago, because I was, after Friedkin died, I was like, shit, I better get on the ball with his other stuff, because Exorcist has always been like my top few favorite movies, but yeah, haven't seen it yet, but I will watch it. I can watch it if you want.
Because I got from the Criterion sale, I got the Wages of Fear and the Sorcerer 4Ks.
Oh, I saw that Sorcerer 4K. I kind of wanted to get it, but
so Sorcerer is a remake of Wages of Fear.
I didn't know that. Shit.
So I thought maybe it would be cool to do like talk about those two movies and do like a comparison.
Okay. If you can rip, or I'll check and see if Wages of Fear is streaming somewhere.
Yeah.
Or you can rip it for me if it's not.
Yeah, we can do that, because I have it on Blu-ray, but the problem is, like, if I ship it to you, you might not. Who knows when you're gonna get it?
That's true. Yeah, I might not even get it by Saturday.
But yeah, would you want to? Then you would have to watch two movies.
I'm down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Why don't we do that? So we'll do next week. We'll do Wages of Fear and Sorcerer. So the original French movie and the remake, I think 1977.
I like the idea because I'd been really wanting to watch The Sorcerer, so that'll be good motivation for me to. Because like I said, I bought it like a month ago and it's just been sitting there, and I need a reason to put it on.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, and it's one of those movies where I've just constantly heard praise for over the years. Like, this is, some people, like many people, put it in like their top 10 movies of all time easily.
Yeah, I'm going to rewatch them because I'm not even sure which one I prefer. I'm sort of of the mindset that they're equally good, but just fairly different.
Yeah.
So I want to rewatch them, sort of see what my new thoughts are, and check out some of the extras.
Hell yeah.
Sarcasm will get you everywhere. That'll be next week. We'll talk about Sorcerer and Wages of Fear, a remake and an original.
Yes.
All right. Thank you guys. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Eli.
Thanks.
Going to end the stream now. Have an awesome night.
Yes. Awesome.